Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your monthly episode of The Gimmick. I am the Canadian Nightmare, and I am joined by GeekVerse's man in the chair.
The no nickname S Buffs.
No nickname, no background. That's what you get the Saw background right now. That's the best part about it. But yeah, we're here. David is off on I can't remember where he was. I'm sorry, Dave, but I know you're traveling, so it was one of these things that he might make it, might not, but that's okay. He'll be on the next one. And yeah, we're here to talk about today. We got a big, it was already going to be a big show, but easily could be the biggest show. We started this obviously a year ago, but this is the right time because a lot of big things have happened. And man, this is something I never thought we'd be talking about, but we're about to talk about it. Before that, everything you need to know is down below. Am I right? Did I put the links in? I don't even know. No, I didn't. So I'm going to put those links in right now as I'm talking. But everything you need to know how to find this show or anything else on Geek for some Patreon, it's all on there. So we appreciate that. And yeah, to go into that, we're just going to talk quickly a few things before we get into it. We're talking, of course, the big John Cena and Rock Cody segment. We're going to do a whole review of the Chamber. We're going to talk about some NXT and Ricky Starks. We're going to do a quick preview of AEW Revolution, just go down the card, who we think will win and whatnot. And then, yeah, so what happened was, so obviously we started this right around this. I can't remember. Did we start before or after Chamber?
I
I
think
think it's
after
after,
Chamber,
right?
because we knew
Yeah.
because that was one of
Yes.
the point things.
Our first episode was like an introduction, but it was obviously like WrestleMania's predictions, I
Yeah.
think, too, or
And
something like
I
that. But
started counting the points on WrestleMania. Like we drafted
right.
before, there were a few weeks where I think there was like no counting there.
Yeah, which kind of makes it will probably be similar this time because yeah, next. So for the layout for the next little bit is there'll be another episode sometime in April, beginning or mid-April. We'll do a rest. We're trying to do it. What's going to happen is you're going to get this episode, then there's going to be like a little break because you're going to get 3 episodes in April. We're going to do the WrestleMania's preview and the draft, so we want to try and wait as close to WrestleMania as possible to do the predictions. So we got majority of the matches, like if they add like LA Knight versus 15 people for the US title, whatever. But like we'll have something there, and then we'll be reviewing WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 kind of like last year right after. But then what's going to happen after that is, so yeah, we started this a year ago. So okay, let's see. I used to do this on Trust Told You, but I knew, Dave was a big fan. And I know Espas was starting to watch. So we had to say, okay, let's do the show. Let's start with the monthly, right? And luckily, everyone, thank you for supporting because until Brave New World came out, which I knew was going to happen, but last month's Gimmick episode was the number one on Geek First feed, and it was our biggest one by far. So that's where now we're going to move to bi-weekly. So what's going to happen is kind of like this, where I'm for sure going to always be on one episode. I can sometimes be on two, but it's going to be like this where there's always going to be one episode with, if all the stars align, with 3 of us, and then there'll be two, whether it's me and S Bubs, me and David S Bubs, etc. Probably David S Bubs for a little bit at the beginning. That's why I was happy when I was off to make sure these two tested well chemistry wise, and it's gone well. You guys did good while I was gone, which is, David and S Bubs just knew each other from meeting here. It's not like Brent and David who worked together, or me and Chris had done other podcasts. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Is that's going to start after WrestleMania because right now we all kind of got some busy schedules, and then like already in April we're doing 3 episodes, so you're kind of getting it then. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. We don't have a distinct layout schedule yet. Like it could be the idea, yeah, is every 2 weeks, but we don't have a date because we all got lives and stuff going on. But yeah, we thank everyone that's tuned in and listen. If you want more, keep listening. We'll always keep reevaluating. But and it's also just will help us avoid doing 3.5, 4 hour episodes sometimes. Like we've never hit the 4 hour, but we've hit three like 35 because we got a lot of news we always
I
catch up
think
on.
like the first draft was like 3:45 or something
Yes.
like that because we went so long on that one.
Oh yeah, and that's what will help here is, because that's what happens. We wait for a month and it's great, but there is so much. There's stuff we like to talk about that we can't. So that's where now I'll be a little bit spread out. I think the best thing I can say is it'll probably always be around like a before after a WWE or AEW pay per view. Like with All In with their bigger show, we'll probably go before or after that. Same thing WrestleMania, all in all that. Or if there's something like, obviously SummerSlam, same thing. But if there's something like, I don't know, Bad Blood, where it's like, okay, we try to
I guess
plan around the
SummerSlam
business,
is 2 nights too.
yeah, it is. So we're gonna have to plan around that. So that there you go. But even in that situation, maybe if we do 2 episodes, one episode we can touch on like some NXT other stuff, and other stuff we can touch on like AEW. So we'll figure it out. But that's why I just subscribe, and that's what's gonna happen as well too. We're going to, so it's gonna be bi-weekly, and then we're also gonna create an own feed for it. That'll be next episode because I want to try and upload all the old episodes. So I was not ready to do that yet, but and I have to get it all approved from Apple and everything like that. But yeah, we will be. It has its own feed, so it's only still gonna be bi-weekly, but you can easily catch up. I know GeekVerse always has lots of casts on there, so if it's something where it's like, oh, where is it? Well, it has its own dedicated feed in the future, and then yeah, that just helps easy to track things. And then finally, March 16th. Very excited. I don't think we've talked about this on air other than like hinting at that we're excited. GM mode is going online. We still know nothing about it. Embargo's not till like tomorrow night. These bastards at 2K not telling us anything. But it's going to be online. So what's going to happen is March 16th. We don't have a day or a time yet, but it's going to be most of the day. We'll start sometime morning, early afternoon, and play until someone can't or until we have like a hard out. But yeah, it's going to be myself, David, S. Bubs. We're going to do 3 GMs. We're going to book these shows, see how it goes. We're gonna have to figure out, because Espos had a great idea where we're all gonna create a wrestler and then do a triple threat to decide the draft.
I have a good idea of something to, yeah, we'll do that, but then I'll also, after the show, I'll send you an idea I have for 2K25.
Perfect. With that though, would that just be like David and you create your wrestlers and you gotta upload them and then I gotta download them? Is that what I gotta do?
I think you don't need to, I think if you play online, you can play as any creator wrestler, like without needing to download stuff.
Okay. Oh, we're actually playing it. Is that the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I want to do. Yeah.
I thought we were simming. Okay, we'll play it. Oh, I gotta brush up because I've told Espos this. I've only played wrestling actual game once in like 5 years. It's always just been GM mode. So okay, I gotta brush up. Okay, so there you go. So and there's a way to do like elimination triple.
Yeah, you can do that. That was my idea. Yeah. To do elimination instead of the wheel spin.
Okay, no, that's great. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, we're big fans of that, and yeah, Tuna will start promoting that. But yeah, it's gonna be a multi-hour stream, and then yeah, come tune in, watch it. If you like it, we'll do more in the future. But I'm looking fun. This has been me and Espo has been tinkering with the idea for about a year, but it always sucks. It's like the way you could do it, you can never do 3 people, so it's like, oh, we'd have to like cut some people out. But this is perfect where we can go online. David, we're all getting PS5 version. We're gonna go online. Play
I was really like, I was prepared to buy like W2K24 like on PC, like literally like the day before they announced the online mode. So
yeah, and that's a good thing. Hopefully too, it releases a week early, which I know I'll be getting that version. I hope by then, if there's any issues with the online servers or whatnot, they can figure out, because I don't know exactly how it's gonna work and everything. Even just playing with random people, is there just a lobby you can join and whatnot? I don't know. So we'll see, but that's gonna happen. So lots of fun things happening at the gimmick here. But let's get into this because we got lots to talk about today. So Bubs, I'm gonna start with the officer. We're gonna talk about the whole chamber, but we've been talking about in between episodes did not have the Rock segment, so we didn't talk about that. We had Rock goes to Cody, wants a soul, which pretty much just wants him to turn heel. So we had never talked about that. But what do you think about the lead up? And then last night, chamber ends. He goes to Cody, wants a soul. Cody turns him down, but lo and behold, the GOAT, as they call him on WWTV, one of the biggest babyface all time, John Cena, has now elected to go on the Rock side. He sold out. Travis Scott was there for some fucking reason. I don't know. We'll talk about that. But what did you think about the past week and then obviously last night? Because this was a big moment in wrestling history that happened. So.
No, yeah, I think with the Rock, like the first Soul promo, I think I liked it more than most people. Like, I thought some people were being very like they were acting like it made no sense. Like, yeah. I feel like you could tell what he was going for, even if he did do his Rock rambling for too long.
He got lost a couple times.
Yeah, but from that point, I was excited with the whole corporate champion thing. Yeah. Like, I got the gist of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the next week with the Seth promo, I thought that was really good. Mm-hmm. And then going into SmackDown where he called in with the weight belt with the day Dusty died on it, like crazy stuff. And I was just excited to see, like, I forget, we were talking about it on the Discord, but I feel like my prediction for a while was gonna be that, like, it was kind of the same idea I had with the Rumble, like, I just felt like Cena wasn't gonna win for some reason, but I didn't know who. And then also with this corporate thing, like it was like I feel like there's a lot of these, and when we got to the final three, obviously we'll talk about it more. But from
Yeah.
that point on, like I was really liking this. And yeah, so Cena ends up winning, obviously, sort of using the help of Rollins there, which is like interesting.
Hmm.
And then yeah, he wins, and then we get to the segment, and no, yeah, I loved it. It was just a great moment. The whole, just the perfect shot of his face just going like in a second, on The Rock doing his movement there.
I don't
Yeah,
know what's going on with the Rock's finger. Why he had the
he
two
did it
like.
weird, yeah, but whatever.
It's just simple. You just do that, but just like he's like dragging on his face. Like I do love. I said we talked about this last year because the post Raw, Rock had that promo with Cody, and it was super creepy. And like I don't want to say the term, but people say it's like a type of prison assault style. The final boss character kind of has, and it is. There's some cause same thing like last night he grabbed Cody's face again, and I like that stuff. I like that it's weird and off-putting because I'm always like, why is The Rock always touching him? Like, why is he making these like these unwanted advances and everything? But that's where. So yeah, I'm with you. I was the same thing. I was not as bad or down on as other people. The first promo, I get there's some stuff with the babyface, but I like that the idea that The Rock or the final boss to specify that he views himself as a babyface, and that's why I like where he'll do his rant and then he'll like just break out of character when a fan like is like cat calling him. He's like, "You shut your mouth, we're gonna slap." I think that works
Yeah.
better. It was weird to announce the crowd like for New Orleans Wrestlemania and then be like, "All right, you herpy." People's like, "Okay," like he should just let a fan boo him. Like a fan's gonna boo him and then go off. So I don't mind it. Excuse me. Other than yeah, The Rock like I felt like he was doing a speech and he like forgot where he was going and he went to the end of it, and then when he went the roundabout it was to show that photo of him and the Cody's mom because he completely forgot to throw to the photo. Like that's what and then he started going again. So the thing is I feel like the final boss lots of times for his speeches works better for the like the clip promos that they make. They just want The
Yeah.
Rock to say certain things so when they do their hype packages, like he said
And especially I
this.
feel with this one last night, I felt like it was more scripted because obviously there's a big point they need to get to. So I think that
Yes.
actually helped it. Like, because The Rock, like, I think he sort of needs like the big points of where to get to.
Yeah, and like even and like I said, I was fine with it. I like the idea. I never for a second bought Cody, especially when he did the whole belt thing. Like, there's no way he's gonna put Cody's like Dusty's date of his death on this belt, and Cody's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be with him. It's like no, everything we've seen about the Cody Rhodes character, I'm kind of surprised how much Dusty's been used. I'm not sure if Cody okayed that or if Rock's just kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Cody's like, yeah, all right, because like Cody's talked about many times. Dusty said like, hey, when I'm dead, like don't put me in any angles. He thought it was very cheesy. He's like, I don't want to do this at all. And The Rock is just like, he's like, oh, well, last time was that line. He's like, yeah, you better not break my heart and let's not have the dream die again. And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like they're laying it on thick here. But yeah, and I will say that I would have never thought this. Obviously, you never say never in life. So I'd say like a 0.001% this would have happened. And it's funny that you told me after that. So last week, I guess that there's a scooper
It
doctor, what
was
is it,
like,
Featherstone or whatever the
yeah.
hell they are. Yeah. Said that Drew's winning. And he has like a pretty good track record. I know this is going to be wrong. And now everyone's going to say, this guy knows nothing. It's like every scooper is like, it's like Hollywood. Like they're going to be wrong. And I guarantee you this was probably put out there fakely on purpose
Yeah,
because
that's what Fightful said. Is like they did drop a lot of even the rundown was fake of
yes.
the listing.
And that's how you
And
have
I
to
think
do
the
it.
thing with the Drew leak and the rundown, it's like they seem like realistic enough. Like you
Yes.
could read that, it's like okay, Rock's in the middle of the show before the chamber. Yeah, Drew winning like Drew winning the chamber, that makes sense. Like that would like if Drew had won, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been mad.
And there's seeds for that story both way where Cody and Drew had that promo a couple weeks ago and Drew came to SmackDown the first time that they'll probably come back to, but there was that. And then even then little stuff like when Drew resigned, The Rock sent him like a fucking sword or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's funny that that was the rumor because I legitimately did not see the fake spoiler, but that's who I kind of wanted because I thought, okay, I did not buy Cody turning, I didn't buy Cena turning, and I just never thought they were not doing that triple threat because I did believe that hype when it's like both him, Seth, and then Roman, they're all booked for like the same 3 SmackDowns. It's like, yeah, this triple threat's it's happening, you
Punk's
know.
getting ready for that triple threat. Didn't kicked out of all of Seth's finishers, kicked out of all of
Oh,
Cena's
I know.
finishers, didn't tap to the SDF.
We'll get there, but like again, like I am assuming Roman's just gonna win, but like Seth should win that match again. He's like, I couldn't believe that Cena Punk beat him again last night. I was like, like I feel like Seth has to win, and then you can do Roman and Punk cost each other. I don't know. We'll get there, but so it's funny with Drew. I was saying in between, I was like, I could buy Drew
That's why I
because
wasn't saying anything in the Discord because
oh, my
I thought that's
theory.
funny, yeah.
Yeah, all my theories because I was like, that would make him a megastar, right? Because if Punk could turn at any moment, right, he can hit a GTS on Cody, Uber Hill. Cena, like, also would be a big star, but I thought, no, they're gonna do like Cena and Cody, Hogan and Warrior, especially because they kept talking about Hogan and Warrior throughout the night because it happened in Toronto. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna say like just like at WrestleMania 6, it's gonna be Hogan and Roy, the 2 biggest baby faces, whatever. So I'm like, oh, that's the only person who would take this deal because they get Drew to a different level. No, Drew's just fucking with Damien. We'll talk about that later. I'm still disappointed by that, but no, I would have never. And you know what? I should have known it. This man, I've booed him my entire life since 2004. There's a track record of him being a piece of shit. Many times when he's getting attacked, people come out and save him in the 2000s. When people are getting attacked by the Nexus, he was nowhere to be found. He's backstage doing nothing. We've seen the Ray video, which I do love. That the Ray video, if people don't know what I'm talking about, it's the night where CM Punk left, so they crowned a new champion. Ray had like a mini tournament. He won it. Cena got a match there on the night. Just beat him. They didn't even do it pay-per-view. Just beat him. But I love that like
the first time I saw the edited Ray video, like
say,
for
yeah.
a month, I thought it was real or more. I thought it was real for a long time.
They've made it like they revisionist history that he beat Ray and then attitude adjust him again. It's so good. But no, that piece of shit. And finally, I've booed that man for years. And finally, here I am cheering this man, happy for him to retire, miss this man. And what does he do? He turns on Cody Rhodes, the most important man in the last decade of professional wrestling. He turns on him. But my personal feeling side, great angle. It was well done. Like I said, would have never. I just didn't see it. I did not see Cena doing this in his last thing, and now like it is. I'm not gonna buy everything like we talked about last night, like Rock holding up like the Cena 3 or whatever. Like
I think that's just Rock far. Doing stuff.
Yeah, because now why is he holding the 2 up? What's the fucking 2 for? But I do believe like we talked about that in our kind of the night after in the Discord, like the Cena promo. Everyone took that after Rumble's like, oh, he's turning into like Super Cena, but no, it's like heelish, and there's just little things along the way. But I just never
stuff like best for business.
Yes,
and yeah,
I've earned the right. Where like a month ago, he was like, no, I would never take someone's spot. Like I would never just put myself in there. I didn't catch it, but I guess Punk on the pre-show was talking about how Cena's on like a retirement tour and he never shows up for it and everything. So there's all these seeds that now in retrospect you can go like, okay, they were seeding them, but like with Punk, I never trust. Punk just says whatever, right? And like I just thought, okay, Cena's in Budapest. He can't come wrestle. I thought there was some film, like some reasonings, right? But no, they did a great job. The angle, like you said, was a fantastic way of. I was so surprised they let Cody drop the F-bomb. I was so surprised. That was such a big moment. I think because that moment was so big, you weren't even thinking about Cena. And that hug and that face and yeah, Rock, he's a weirdo and he's just doing that stuff. But it's great.
It's like Cena's like Winter Soldier activation when he hugged Cody.
And what's great about it is when they break apart from the hug, he's smiling.
He goes back to smiling.
Yeah, Cody would have no idea. And then the nut shot, and they just beat him up. Fuck, Cody before though should have took off those cufflinks. They could not get that shirt off him because they're on his wrist. Like they were like Cena was trying, and that shirt would not go. But no, it was fantastic. Obviously, people are going to compare it to the Hogan thing. I think they're very different moments. I'd still say the Hogan one's bigger because that led to the NWO and that led to like WWE almost going out of business. That's not like they're not gonna do anything here, and Cena's gonna be gone for a while. But in WWE history, it's a top 3 or like it's this the streak.
I saw people talking about the difference with the Hogan one. It's like the Hogan one, people were already booing him and like wanting him to turn. Like with Cena and his retirement tour, it's like they finally got to a point where everyone was cheering Cena. And that's when they do the turn. It's
almost like Cena's like, you know what? I don't like people cheering me. This just feels weird. I need people to be booing me again. And no, and that's absolutely like there's a difference where Hogan was their weekly, right? And it still was a massive deal because obviously created the NWO and
Oh, yeah.
83 weeks. Like Eric Bischoff has a whole fucking podcast based around where they're still talking about 83 weeks, right? But it was more of a like, okay, there's not much more to do with Hulk. What do we do? Where Cena, it was a clear path of, okay, nostalgia, have some dream matches. Because even then, and that's where I thought I was right and I was wrong. Because when he came back and we did the post Money in the Bank cast, I said, like, I think they're going to do Cena and Cody. And David's like, no, they wouldn't do it because Bayface. I'm like, no, like, because there is easily a story of Cody, the new champion, the new Cena versus Cena who's trying to get the 17th. But that's where David was right, where, yeah, okay, if they're going to do it, there's going to be a heel. And I feel like everyone and their mother thought, okay, if anyone has to be heel, it's going to be Cody. So that's why it's like the perfect turn, too. So, and what I love about it is I've had so many people that watch wrestling kind of talk to me about, like when I played Call of Duty last night with Taylor and Kirkland, they knew about it. Like it's something that one, it's a big deal. Two, because of the final boss last year, they're like, oh, we're going to get some good memes out of this. Like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like heel Cena, you're going to get some good stuff.
Get Cena doing the chills with The Rock next to him.
Oh, absolutely does that. And like to me, it makes the WrestleMania main event that much bigger because I already think Cena versus Cody as baby faces, it could go either way, but now here it really feels like that. And that's what I was going to ask you. I'm really in the camp of I think Cena has to win. It's kind of like the Hogan thing where you compare to that. If Hogan turns heel and he goes for the world title and just the NWO loses, you're like, well, the 83 weeks thing probably doesn't happen. And like Cena can be via satellite, he can do all this stuff like
he can have like he can do like he can do like a reign of terror, do this that'll just like never defend and just like
And like we already like they did it with Roman pretty much, right? Like he'd come around for the big events, but like that's all Cena has 33 dates left. So I think near the back half he'll be in it more, but to me, it's that thing of like I could foresee Cena winning, and then I do think actually Cody would just be the guy to take it off him again because I think
then you have Seal, and I feel like obviously I feel like by the end of this run you're gonna have like the redemption arc.
Yes.
Of like John Cena.
Because it would feel to me really odd if Cena retires and Cody were to never beat him. That'd be strange to me. And I don't know. I don't think Cody's winning the Money in the Bank. I don't know if you have him win King of the Ring because like that's it. It's kind of like Drew McIntyre with Money in the Bank. It's an easy main eventer of like, well, Cody just go in the tourney and win it. And that's like a big SummerSlam match. Like, I don't know what else because I don't know what Cena's saying is this is like technically it's just in like December or something, right? Like before the
interesting thing is I feel like Punk could win King of the Ring because I think King of the Ring this year isn't in Saudi. Like they haven't announced like the rumor supposedly is this year there's only Crown Jewel because they're getting Rumble next year. So I think they haven't announced King of the Ring, but when they're talking, they usually announce King of the Ring and Crown Jewel. And they've only been taught like they've already announced Crown Jewel, but there's no word on King of the Ring or Backlash or Money in the Bank.
Yeah, well, and remember that was our report this last month that both WWE and AEW don't like they're keeping pay-per-views close to the vest now because they don't want to be in the same city. It's like, oh, you guys, like just don't do. Like, it's just I get why it's competition, right? But and that is one thing that is funny. All the game says Cena had to turn because Ari and Rock could advance Hollywood in his career. That's the one stickler I'd say in the storyline that doesn't make sense, where the Rock is pitched as like he wants someone to be the next Rock, and if he has John Cena being like, I'm retiring 10 months, it is kind of funny. Like it doesn't make sense, but I'm fine for it here. I do wonder if there is a situation where Cena's lying and he's actually retiring at next year's Mania. Because, that
could be like if he wins the title and then he's like, I'm not retiring until someone beats me.
Yeah, like that would be, because to me, it's just odd I'm trying to figure out the timing of Punk could win King of the Ring, but I'm just trying to, I guess at any point you have Cody Rhodes become number one contender. I'm just trying to think what big show would you do it at? And I guess Survivor Series you could, but I just feel like that feels odd because War Games is usually the gimmick there,
I feel like now with the rumor, which I think was a fake rumor, I think it could still happen about doing a Cena themed event. I feel like now that he's on the board, it's be like, oh, Rock made me this show.
Yeah,
it was didn't Rock have his own Rock Bottom? Wasn't that when he was a corporate? I think that was right.
Yeah, I think so. And I guess you could do that. It might feel I like the idea of it's we're doing a Cena pay-per-view because he's the man.
Yeah, the rumor was it was Ruthless Aggression was the name of the pay-per-view.
But is that where Cena loses? It's his big pay-per-view or PLE and like Cody beats it. Like that's the only thing that's off to me is the timing of when he's retiring. Because before Rumble, even Rumble, I could see okay, they do that, but I don't think Cena's retiring in Saudi. I really don't. Like I don't even know if Cena's going
where
to Saudi.
Goldberg's retiring.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Double retirement, Cena Goldberg. But like, and I don't even know if Cena gonna go to Saudi because once he started acting a lot, he stopped going. He went for the first. Him and Brian did like the first two, and I'm not sure if it was their agents or I don't know if it was that plane ride story. I'm not sure if you ever heard about that. Where at one point they wouldn't like let the talent leave, and after that, Punk and Cena and Brian no longer went, and I think. I'm very curious if Cena's going to go because if he's champ, or I guess like if he's champ by Rumble, he doesn't have to go, and if he's retired by that point, he doesn't have to go. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I guess SummerSlam is the date, and I just don't know. But I guess you probably could do Punk and him at Money in the Bank and just go for the nostalgia play, right?
I feel like that's what they're gonna do.
And then, but King of the Ring, the finals are at SummerSlam, aren't they? Or no, they're at their own
King of the Ring,
like you said, right?
finals are at like King and Queen of the Ring, and then the match is at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So I think that's my prediction. I think that, to me, like I said, Cena has to win. If they turn Cena heel just to lose at Mania, I don't think it was worth it. That like it's a fun couple months, but like then like what happens? He's like, I don't know. He's like gonna cut some promo about how he made a mistake, turn a heel, and we're gonna get John Cena Rock thrice in a life. Like, I think the money is in Cena wins here, and you get Cody to get it back. And like we talked about before, it's like, and you share in the Discord, it's like you got Cena Ray. I've seen people want to see Cena AJ, Cena as heel and Punk as face. That's uber money right there. I don't know how the Drew. I honestly don't think we're gonna get that Drew match now, which sucks. And I feel like. Like good luck.
I mean, you could kind of do because Drew has kind of been saying like he was right about Cena all along.
He goes back and forth a bit. Yeah, he could be like a tweener, and I'm like, because too, like this is where I'm wondering.
And then you could have him like you could do like Drew cheating to take out like all these like The Rock or Travis Scott or whatever. Like you kind of like by having him be like this like. Not just a complete face. Maybe he does get like an upper hand on Cena by doing the stuff that like a Cody wouldn't do or something.
That's
like
true. And then Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful reports that Travis Scott has been training for pro wrestling. So there you go. They're the Drew King of the Ring finals. Drew versus Travis Scott. So no, and I would like that. And that's what I'm very curious about when they retire. Because even like War Games, I could see them doing like a. Team Cena versus Team Cody, and that would like imagine that. Imagine you have to get like Drew on
call
Team
back
Cody.
Dolph Ziggler for that Survivor Series performance.
Yeah, exactly. So, but overall, thought it was great, shocking moment. It's all about the delivery now and how they do it. That's the good thing about having two world champions is Cena can go and win and be off for a bit. You can get like sad Cody for a bit, and I think you need that. I think which I think it's just an online thing of people when they're like, oh yeah, Cody should lose or he should have lost to Kevin. It's like for the crowd reactions, I really don't think so. He's still getting cheered.
I saw people a year ago saying like AJ has to beat him at
it's like
Clash at the Castle or whatever.
Like of course I mean you're gonna have people cheering Cena because like he's finally healed, but like I still think it's gonna be the most 50-50. Like even then, like I think Cena. I think because nowadays there's still a lot more people that will play with the show, like purposely boo the bad guys because they're bad. And with this stuff, I think Cody will look like a good baby face here. And then if he loses, it adds to it even more. And I think that helps. So, I thought it was a great job. Everyone did a great job. I'm very excited for that Cody promo because I don't know when Rock and Cena are back because Cena's off the filming.
Cena's confirmed for March 7th, like starting March 17th. He's on like all the Raws in Europe. So I think like 17th, the next week and the week after that.
This is gonna be some hot crowds in those Europe ones.
I think the last one in Europe is like the London one.
Yeah, Goldface John. That's or Kyle. That's a good one to bring up. That brings.
I saw someone post like Cody and Roman versus Rock and Cena.
Cody. Oh yeah, I saw that. Like, could you imagine? Yeah. No, that. Roman, but yeah, I guess so. Which could make sense if Cena could beat him because Roman has actually never lost to John Cena, which is funny enough. They've done the 2 matches. So, yeah, there's tons of potential. But again, remember, I think he's only going to be wrestling at some of the biggest events. So you only got a few of them, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, I hope what for me, I guess it's Punk because that happened last night. I loved everything they did. I love that the thing of like, oh, that's John Cena's last good deed is that he hugged CM Punk. They moved like a bit slower, but man, the
I thought
chemistry
it
was
worked
there.
perfectly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it
great.
just felt
John
like
Cena
they
was
were
moving.
trying to win. Like I
Yeah.
didn't care. It like people said like they moved like sloppily, but that was like part of the work. Like it just worked. I
Yes.
love that final three is great, but the Punk Cena final two is so good.
Yeah, like the first 3, like Paul, Damian, Drew, they were there to do their stuff. They've fully set up, and yeah, I guess we can just talk about the show and the cards now. Like Drew and Damian, they're setting that up as like Damian's got his number, right? And it is kind of funny. Like I keep forgetting about this, but it is going to be like a WrestleMania rematch because like Damian and Drew happened
Yeah,
last year for like a minute. So I God hope that Drew wins this. Drew needs some fucking wins here.
we're
He
getting
lost.
the Damian mega push to
He
face
lost.
Cena.
That's why I can't remember. It was months ago or someone there was like the trending tweet where someone's like, "Man, Triple H really thinks Damian Priest is Batista." Don't get me wrong. I've come around the corner. As Bubs was right about the babyface thing, he made it work. I think Damian is really good. I think again it's tough because Rock and Cena. Like I don't know where you go. In my mind, if I was rebooking the card, I would have really preferred them not to do Seth and Punk at Netflix, and I would have had that at Mania, and I would have done Roman at Drew at Mania. I would have liked that. Really do the Bloodline Hunter, and then have Roman beat him. Be like, no, you're not the Bloodline Hunter. Sorry, you're a bitch. Sorry, but like, like Damian and Drew, like that's fine, but we know where that is. That's like in the card. They're gonna get like 12 minutes. It'll be like a decent match. They'll get some cool gear. But I just think Drew has to win because like he lost to Big Jim. He's like first one out of the chamber. Like I feel like they got to be really careful with him this year because I remember we talked about there was that report some like PWI insider like, oh, backstage they feel like he's a step away from being like a big deal. It's like he's a lot more than a step away now. Like, and I think that's just the problem when Cena comes back and Rome comes back and Rock, he's like a top guy, but then he gets pushed down a lot of rungs, and I feel like you got to make him up there. But yeah, he was the first eliminated, and yeah, the Drew, Logan Paul, Damian stuff, that was all good, but like you said, it didn't kick into that final 3. The final 3 felt big because I didn't ever think Seth was going to win, but I always thought there's a chance. I thought, oh, maybe this is why he's been losing so much because like they're telling him, like, hey, you're going to do you and Cody, and you could play up the whole Shield thing. At that point, if Seth won, I don't know, like Rock and Seth.
That's when you get the Mox return at SummerSlam
Oh my
to meet
god.
Seth.
Yeah. Goldboy says Drew's current run reminds me a lot of Hangman's run a month ago. He was eating losses like crazy. And what's funny is like I think those characters are very similar. And much to S-Bub's point is maybe that's how you save Drew is maybe midway through the summer you make him kind of a tweener, and that's where he's attacking. See, because that's Hangman never turned babyface. He just started to fight MJF like about 3 weeks ago. Hangman was like trying to kill Christopher Daniels, and now like they're treating him.
It was like a week later he was mad at MJF for yelling at Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
It's like you ended his career
Yeah.
a week ago.
Christopher Daniels, like the doctor said, if I wrestle again, I might be paralyzed. And he's like, how could you be mean to Christopher Daniels? But like, I legitimately, you could do that with Drew. You could do that where it is like something happens, and it could be the Cena thing, right? Or even then, like, it was a weird promo, but remember he hugged Cody and he was like, I'm trying to protect him from you, or trying to protect you from that. So like there is a path. So maybe that is it, but I do not want him taking the 1, 2, 3 to Damian at the at WrestleMania. I really don't.
He gets he beats Damian in 7 seconds or however long Damian took to beat him.
Yeah. And to me, it's like, it should be fine because it's like, yeah, Damian, like, you get to beat him for the title last year. You can lose this. You'll be okay. But yeah, we got that. And then we had Paul eliminated Damian, not much to Fanboy Clay's chagrin because he said, oh, that better not happen. And then like 5 minutes later happened. And then, yeah, Paul got taken out. I was very happy because the last 2 years they've done Paul gets eliminated and he attacks the person that eliminated him because I don't want him versus Punk or Cena at Mania. So when he walked out, I was like, okay, we're good. Kudos to him or whoever had the idea for him to come out with the American flag. That was like a smart idea because like they were booing the anthem before. But I thought it was like I thought the women's chamber overall was better than the men's, but I think the final of the men's was much better. Like I think the starting for the men's was like good. It was like a good chamber, but the
I feel like
three,
it was
you
like
said, was
your like just like your elimination chamber. There's like the three guys that are like not gonna win it, but they go in there and they hit their spots while the other guys wait because they're gonna be doing a long time by the end.
Yeah. And I guess, are we just assuming it must be Paul and AJ, right? That must be the route they're
I
going,
think
I
so.
imagine. Yeah, because if Seth didn't screw Punk,
I mean,
I would have
unless
said,
it's like because there's also that Finn rumor that was AJ versus Finn at
right,
Mania.
the first time ever at a WrestleMania, which is such a stupid thing to say that. Like, yeah, there's a lot of first time ever. Yeah. Then it's just, okay, so if you take AJ out, like, what do you do with
Unless
Paul
you do
then?
like an IC, like you do Braun versus Logan versus Finn versus AJ.
Yeah. I do
That
Styles versus
you're
Braun. You said that you think that's gonna happen on a
you could have
Raw for
like
Mania,
Braun. You
right?
could have Braun like pinning. You could do. You have like Braun versus AJ on Raw with like Paul costing like AJ, but then I don't know. Somehow still Braun. I feel like if you do that like Fatal 4-Way, you could have Braun pinning Logan, like spearing him midair or
Yeah.
something, and then that's
Yeah.
how like the pin Balor redemption.
I was gonna say, I guess they had him in a multi-man last year, so yeah, I'm wondering, like, I don't care as much because I'm kind of with everybody where, like, personal stuff aside, I just need more from Logan Paul than like he's a heel. Like, I'm over the fact he's a celebrity that can wrestle well. He needs to get some. They need like an actual story for him now, other than like he's the heel champ, right? So I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. The mid card, I feel like on Raw and SmackDown is really all over the map. Like I feel like they got 10 options there. But yeah, so I loved in the chamber when Cena and Punk teamed up together to take on Seth, especially because I just feel like that must like add to Seth's haterade so much. Like he much just like, oh
Yeah.
my fucking god, like these two guys from my past, the old timers teaming up. But it made sense to me. Like they're both, kind of supposed to be like older, trying to get to Mania, where Seth's like, relatively in his prime, a little past, but like more in his prime than those two, right? And the fact that they're teaming up, and then another sign where Seth gets eliminated, Punk's on the rope and he stomps him, and then Cena right away just puts him in the FTF. Super
That was like
heelish thing.
his best STF ever.
Yes, he
Like he
actually
had it
did it.
locked in for
He actually
real.
did
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then you got Seth yelling, "Die, die, die." So, I guess I don't know if we ever talked about this on. I guess we maybe did at the Rumble. How are you feeling now that it looks like it's probably going to be the triple threat with Seth, Punk, and Roman? How are you feeling about that overall?
I like it. I feel like
Mhm.
it's gonna be really good. A big aura match there. But
Yes.
the thing I'm curious about is like I feel like the story of like Punk in the main event has kind of like gone away. And I
Rock
feel
did it
like,
again. Rock took it away
yeah,
from him.
but I feel like people were saying like, I feel like Roman, first match of the night, he goes out Vegas, gets his dinner before night is over, and
He's
we're
out. Yeah.
good being the first match. In that case, because what I really, if they do the first match, then I would really want the main event to be the Rhea, Bianca, or
I agree.
Io in there.
I agree. And not just because like I know Triple H like it's tough. He got a lot of flack because last night they asked him like women, and he's like, "Well, I'm not just gonna do it for the fact that they're women and everything." I was like, "Yeah, dude, we know," but it's just like even last year when we talked about this, where when Bailey won the Rumble and they did that turn, that angle was hot. And I don't know if I can fully believe it, but I do subscribe a bit to that conspiracy theory. That angle was getting hot, and then all of a sudden they were not on TV. It was like interviews and I don't think that was because I'll clarify. I don't think that was Triple H is holding the women back. I think that's Rock's not wrestling if he's not on the main event. I think that's more of a
Yeah.
Rock has to be last versus where
I think
this
there's
year.
also the rumor that Rhea Charlotte was gonna be the main event, and then the Sammy story just got so
Yes, it
hot that they
was.
put the
Yeah.
tag titles
Which was the
in the
right thing
main
to do,
event.
in my opinion. As much as Rhea and Charlotte was the best match that weekend to me, that was the right thing to do. But this year, I would imagine Rock's only on one night, right? And like that's where
And
night
he's probably
two.
not even wrestling in that case. Like
Yeah, no,
I think
exactly.
he's managing like
Yeah,
him
I
and yeah.
I bet he might take like a bump or something, right? Because I do agree with
Yeah.
everybody. Like, if we didn't get him last year, that glass has to fucking shatter this year. I don't care what Stone Cold is asking. You pay the man the fucking money to go there and stun like The Rock, John Cena. Now again, Cena has to win, so you do something. I don't know if you do another heel turn in the middle, like because people have been
Travis
saying
Scott stunned
I
Stone
don't.
Cold.
Yeah, that's who he's training for. But yeah, like to me, I'm with you where I said last. I think we did talk about the Rumble. To me, yeah, it just makes no sense kayfabe wise if the women there's Bianca, Io, and Rhea, the biggest women stars I'd say of the past at least 5 years here, right? Not counting like Becky and Charlotte, like people from the past, like newer stars, and they're fighting for the title. Why should Seth, CM Punk, and Roman in just like a grudge match main event WrestleMania? Unless Roman says like, "Hey, I'm retiring." Then fine. Then you put that main, but it's like I don't think anyone's retiring, so it never makes sense to me. So I really hope they go that case because if it's the main, I'm gonna feel a little salty, and that to me kind of ruins the CM Punk main event story of like you gotta win the Rumble, you gotta win the Chamber. It's like nah, you can just like be in a match with Roman and you got it. Because then like do the story again next year. Obviously Punk can't be at the Rumble next year because it's in Saudi, but like he win the Chamber, like do that, or maybe he has maybe he has a world title, right? Like
you have whoever's the champ like kill him before the Rumble, and he returns for the Chamber and wins.
Man, that's now we're bi-weekly. One time we should do like year out predictions, like because that'd be fun. Like let's try and guess like who could Punk be versing for the world title. But word says Cena just turned heel after 20 years. What's world coming to? They're doing this on his farewell tour. I think that's the reason they did it. Because like me, I think we all thought there's no way, but that's the perfect time to do it when everyone thought there's no way they're gonna do it, and that's why it's such a big moment, right? Where other times in the career could have happened. We finally get to Bianca and Rhea. I don't think so. Here's where I am. Same thing with the men. I'd rather have Punk and Roman one-on-one, but I don't think that's happening. I think there's still I'm not gonna say never. There's still a chance Io could lose because they did have Io and Dakota. They beat Liv and Raquel a couple weeks ago, right? On Raw, I think. Yeah. So there's still that chance that they could have them for the tag titles. I think there's a chance, but the way that they did the stare down last night with all three of them, that to me was that was tough to not like I don't even do that then if you don't have Io in the image.
I feel like I remember last year at Elimination Chamber they had because Rhea and Nia was the main event, and like they like in the women's chamber was first, and then Becky Lynch won. And it's like, oh, she's facing Rhea at WrestleMania. Like it wasn't even like Nia's not winning.
Right.
But tonight specifically, they kept mentioning over and over how it was either Rhea or Io. Even the graphic, like when Bianca won, wasn't just like women's world titles, like Rhea, Io, like right next to each other. And then like Bianca is like the third one.
Because the one way you could pivot is because I've seen she's been training. I don't know if she's ready, but Kairi Sane is training right now, and you could pivot to if you're doing
could do like her and Dakota for the titles.
That's because I think we'll wait till Liv, but I think with Liv there's a lot of directions to go there. But with Rhea and Bianca, I would personally like that because I feel like here's the thing: I'd rather have Bianca and Io or Bianca. Or sorry, not Bianca. I don't know how that would happen. I would have Rhea and Io. Like, I'd rather either way, whatever the equation is, I would rather be one-on-one. Even if they said, "Hey, we want Io to be the champ," then do the one-on-one. I just think because, especially with Rhea and Bianca, it feels weird to do a triple threat and then years later be like, "We're gonna finally do that one-on-one match." Like, no, you're kind of blowing your load here.
Also,
but
I have to add, like, I feel like this means that they could actually do the Bianca heel turn at some point. Because she had the same reasons for Cena because of the Make-A-Wish and the stuff like that. And now I feel that they did Cena, like they could do it. And I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but I feel like it's not a thing of like, oh, it'll never happen.
Yeah. Two things before we move on where it says, what about the Make-A-Wish, all that charity work? I'm going to have to throw out my DVD copy of The Marine. One, I still own a DVD copy of The Marine, so I'm with you. I got to go break it later on. But Make-A-Wish, he still granted him. He still will, but I think he's probably not as requested as he used to be, so it's probably a safe time. But is there anything, because we kind of started talking about the ladies, is there anything on the men's Rumble we haven't touched upon?
The men's chamber.
Men's chamber. Yeah, we did the Seth thing. Cena, like I said, I love Cena and Punk's whole back and forth. Thought it was great. Cena was moving well again, but like you said,
they just have good chemistry, him and Punk.
And the good thing is here, though, now, another thing that people don't take into account that, like, I'm sure it's on the smaller meter, but for Cena working as a heel, he gets to work like a slower, stiffer style.
He can do his headlocks.
Yeah, like he ain't gonna. I doubt he's gonna go to the top rope and drop that fucking like leg drop as a heel now. Like it's kind of like perfect. So, yeah, I don't know. And the word says, "How can he end his career as a heel?" I think it's just like it doesn't really matter because I think what might happen is that's why I still foresee his last match being against Cody. Cody beats him, and Cena like pass torch. People don't, or people, if you haven't watched wrestling, I suppose you might not even know this. Years ago in Toronto, when they did Rock and Hogan, weeks before they did that, Hogan ran him over with a truck.
No,
Like,
yeah, I've seen the match and
yeah,
I've seen the video
yeah.
package.
So
Yeah.
like weeks before, he put him in an ambulance and they got a whole whatever truck and ran the Rock over. Then 3 weeks later, they're hugging, they're shaking hands. You can turn it in a dime. Even myself this year with the Rock, when he did like hugging Cody, I'm like, they killed the angle. They found a way to turn around and
Is
bring it
that
back.
still on your worst moment of the year? With the stuff that happened later, or
yeah,
just an individual moment?
I don't think it will be now because I think they followed up I think they recovered it well. I know the Rock's gonna be like, yeah, I'm a long gamer. I don't believe when in January Netflix that was the plan. Maybe it was, but with Rock, you can never know. But that to me was what's gonna happen is Cena will lose. He'll shake the person's hand who will lose. The crowd will do a big clap, and then I bet he does
that
a
was in his promo
after.
too, like the
Yes.
Rumble promo. He's like he wants to win seven, like he wants to win
17,
the
so he can be
title
there for
to shake the
18.
hand and give it
Yes.
to the person who wins the next one.
It
Yeah.
should be Cody. It should be Cody. That's why he has to lose at Mania. We got to start getting these title loss or wins up. And to me, that's all you have to do. Like another example is Shawn Michaels when he turned on Hulk Hogan. He had no reason to. He super kicked him. He started going off on him. And then when Hogan beat him, he shook his hand. He's like, I just need to know. I need to know. There's no reason in storyline. Even Hogan said like you could have just asked him for a match. I'd give it to him. But Shawn just like, no, I'm gonna super kick him and be an asshole. Like the second you're a heel and you lose, you just have to be like, I'm sorry, and Cody will be like, yeah, I get it. You're still my idol. So that's where, and I think you'll get that. And then on a Raw or a SmackDown, Cena will cut a promo and do that and just be like, hey, I just wanted to, like, I didn't know if I could do it. I made some mistakes. Maybe he even attitude adjustments Rock. Like, I could see that being a thing where that's what happened with Hogan. Is when Hogan lost the match, the NWO came out and they're beating the Rock up, and Hogan finally, like, I can't take it anymore. I gotta say him. That could be the same thing. Imagine if Cody beats Cena and he shakes his hand, and Rock and Travis Scott and whoever else is a rapper with him, they're beating Cody down again. But this time, Cena's like, no, I can't do it this time. And like, you can do it. And because he still was a baby face for 22 years.
I feel like he for sure goes into the Hall of Fame next year.
Absolutely,
like,
yes, yeah, and
probably the Rock inducts him, breaking kayfabe, and how they were drinking Terramana the whole time.
Me and his mom, they're friends and everything. Which is, if you look at Cena, anytime the Rock's mom is in the crowd, he goes and hugs her and stuff. So there's tons of fun stuff. So I'm very excited to see what happens next. It's going to be a very fun build. I am curious to see if Cody gets any help, because with the bloodline he got help, but Kevin Owens is not going to help him. Randy will probably be busy.
There was actually a little detail on NXT when Ricky Starks was in his debut match. They were talking on commentary, like they had some comments from Punk and Cody, and the Cody one was like, Cody said like, Ricky is the only person in the world I trust anymore.
Oh,
like
nice.
That's
shots
at
Randy. My God, Jesus Christ.
He was saying like he doesn't trust Jay anymore. He doesn't trust Randy. Like
why
Ricky's
not
the only guy he likes now.
And what about Sammy? Even Sammy, like they had some heat and then like shook hands and hugged. Like we're good. Like it's such a weird, it's such a weird dynamic. I'll say it might be real life stuff, but yeah, and that's right there.
Ricky versus The Rock dream match.
Oh, Copeland's gonna be. He can't wait. He can't wait to the vanilla midget promo's gonna come up a million times that happens. But even then, like this is a way, because you know what's gonna happen. This is also a way to get Cena and Orton, because Orton is still in kayfabe friends with Cody, and he's gonna set up. That's why I do think, I don't know if it'll happen, but I do think there's money in a Cody Cena War Games match. Because imagine that you got like Cody, Ricky Starks, Randy Orton, Cena. Rock's not wrestling a fucking War Games match, but like maybe he does have his NWO and there's certain people that turn on him, or maybe fucking Randy turns on Cena or Cody too, and it's like a 2-man power trip. Like they're I'm sorry, Ricky Saints. I'm not used to it. Yeah, you're right. Ricky Saints all in the game. It'll take some getting used to, but yeah, it's gonna be a very fun ride.
Now I'm thinking, who would be in that War Games match? Now we're talking about like. let's say Randy is on Cody's team for that
Yeah.
one. So you have Cody, Randy, let's say Ricky. They call him up there, and he's on the
Yeah,
team.
that's this big thing. Seth's
Who
always
else
an
is
option.
Cody?
Seth's
Yeah.
always, but to me, I would want to be Drew. That's where you get Drew. Is like, can we
Oh yeah.
trust him? Can we? Because remember, obviously the angle got botched, but when the Elite was doing the takeover and they had Hangman on their Blood and Guts team, but Hangman wasn't like with them. He just wanted like a shot at Swerve or whatever. That's what I
Yeah.
think you do, where it's like, for whatever reason, maybe they've done Cena and Drew already and Cena beat Drew, right? But he wants one more chance at him. I would like Drew, because also you could have like The Rock being like, oh, like, remember when I sent you that sword? Like, you should be on team.
Yeah.
You should be with us. You should, because
You could do that promo. Oh, imagine that. He does the promo and then he gives Rock the headbutt like on the
oh
promo
yeah,
and he goes for
absolutely,
the
yeah.
Claymore and they pull him out of the ring.
Yeah,
But
and like that's the thing too. Like, and you could play both. Rock and Cena could play up like, hey, like I am gonna be retiring. We do like we. It's not Cody. We need someone
like
like,
we
yeah,
need a new
who's gonna be the
champion
next
here.
Cena, right? Like you could see Drew being that. That could be Seth too, because Seth's always that. Roman's always one you could have in the War Games, right? Because like
Oh yeah,
that's a
that could be
stacked
your
team.
fight. Cody, Randy,
Roman and
Drew,
Drew. That's a
and
fucking yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Ricky. That's a huge spot for Ricky. My
Pick a-
God.
And then I
Yeah.
guess the heel team, you would have like Cena, who are like some obviously Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, put them on the team
Oh
there.
God, get out of there! Yeah, Solo Sokola. No. See, and that's where I would
All the people, they beat Cena. Now you got Solo Theory.
Get those two
Who
out of
else
there.
was beating Cena?
See, no, I actually,
Um,
what you would do is you turn Orton and have Orton on Cena's team, and you could put Punk in Orton's spot. Punk could easily be on
yeah.
Team Cody. So like, you got Cena, you got Orton. I don't want Theory and Waller. Theory should
But
be
I
a
feel like
baby
you need
face by
some
then,
like
right?
you need some like heel who like some goons. You need some goons on the heel team.
Well, you need goons or you need a powerhouse. Fuck, like they probably wouldn't do it, but call up Obafemi and make him like Cena's muscle for a little bit. You know, just make
Yeah.
him like, and he gets to like bump Ricky Starks. He gets to bump Cody. I'm trying to think who else is on the roster.
Ricky Saints.
Fucking Ricky fucking. Oh my God, I'll get used to it eventually. But like, yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to think.
I'm trying to think of. You
Pull-
get
pull off-
Omos.
yeah, the Japan star. Pull off a big coup and just get fucking Bryan Danielson back. Heal Bryan Danielson to be on Team Cena. You know, oh man. Let's see. Goldface. I actually think Orton would induct Cena. They're longtime best friends. Yeah, that's probably a good option. I could also see Triple H doing it the same way Vince inducted Stone Cold, like with the biggest star. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't know if you guys can.
I think
give
there
him
was at
justice.
some point. I forget if it was Cena who said they wanted Angle to induct them, or if
Right,
it was
yeah.
something like that.
So we'll see. Bronson Reed can be the muscle. Yeah, they only did that with the bloodline again, though, right?
Yeah,
So that's why I
that's
suggested
why I wasn't
Obe.
thinking. That's
Yeah.
why I wasn't thinking because I feel like they already did that, and then I was also thinking like a Jacob Fatu. I feel like he'd be more of like a face on that. Like I don't think he'd be on Team Cena.
No, I don't think
But
so.
I'm thinking
either.
like that sort of guy, or like I
But
don't know. Yeah.
here's the thing, because this happens a lot, and people used to make like cracks at him here at Goldface. But he says Ricky is one of the only options that could be the next Cena. The other guys mentioned are 3 years away from 40. Ricky's 5 years away from 40. Like Ricky looks young, but like he's gonna be 40 in 5 years. So like he can't be the next guy either. Like they got to push him right now. So yeah, that's what I would like, someone on Cena's team though that would be a new upstart or NXT, whether it's Obi, like someone that is younger, that is like the Randy Orton Evolution or Batista or like Cody and Ted and Legacy.
Whose AEW contract is running up that we can get by the end of this year?
Get Jack Perry in
Jack
there.
Perry, yeah.
No, I'm trying to think who, and that's what I'm, again, this is why I'm so mad he resigned in the
Get
Team
the
War
Bucks on Team Cena.
Bucks on Team C. Oh my God. Like this is why like I'm happy he resigned. He's happy, but man, I wish Dustin was free, because Dustin in this angle, I love all the time that every time something bad happens to Cody, like last night he tweets like shame on you both. He never used a name, but I love that he's like subtly tweets WWE stuff. It's great. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see as it goes on. It might not even happen. Watch Cena be like, I'm not working War Games. Like that's too long. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Yeah, probably because it'll be closer in GM mode. We'll get, because there'll be lots of downtime when we're booking matches. We'll get David's thoughts on some of the stuff too. But yeah, we'll get some thoughts there. But yeah, so the women's chair, we're talking about that already because we're talking about Bianca, Io. So that obviously when this is recorded, we don't know what's happening there with Rhea and Io. I wonder if they're gonna do a double pin somehow. I don't think you could go with a count out. That might be a little lackluster. This is where I wish, because one thing I do like a lot with AEW, I wish there was the time limit draw, because that to me that is always a perfect
Yeah.
like break. You could do the like angle taker where someone gets pinned and someone taps, but I don't see anybody of those two tapping out right now. So I'm just gonna assume that it's like a double shoulder, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to count it, is all I'm saying. But how do you think that's going to end? Because I do think it's a triple threat. I'd rather the one-on-one, but I think they're going the triple threat route now. What do you think is going to happen? And then how do you think it's
Yeah,
going to
I'm
happen?
thinking of like possible ways where like how this can happen. Like the only because Bianca like it'd be easier if Bianca wasn't a face because obviously
Mm-hmm.
the issue is like how do you get to that? I'm thinking like maybe she's probably I feel like she's gonna be like at ringside, seated at ringside somehow.
Mm.
And I feel like maybe you have Rhea being like I don't know, sort of like talking to her and stuff or like messing with her to a point where like Bianca goes to like hit her or something
Mm.
and she like accidentally hits Io and like the ref doesn't see it or something, but then that costs her like or like she goes to like whip Rhea like with the hair and she like hits Io or something. I don't know. Because the difficult part is like, oh, Bianca, because how she feels like heels, like, oh, she just like hits like Io or Rhea outside of the ring or something. But as a face, that's the difficult part.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, because we don't have enough time. Because I've seen the theory, and I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility that the
Because the
Naomi, the
thing I've seen
Jade
is
tag.
like, how did Naomi get Jade like off the thing like onto the car like
Well, yeah, that's what, like I would not be against the theory that they both did it. Like to me, because it was very odd of the way they had Naomi get attacked. It felt like it started as a babyface thing, but then it felt like a heel beating down a babyface. The whole stretcher gimmick, everything, like it made like you feel sympathy towards Naomi for a little bit, and the way Bianca was reacting was so. Because to me, it would be like, oh, she would be more shocked that oh Jade attacked Naomi. I guess Naomi's been lying to me, but it was more like, oh my god, she's destroying one of my close friends here. Why is that? So like, I am not think it's out of the realm possibility that Bianca is a part of the attack, and that's what you can kind of have a heel. Because I can't remember last time we had three babyface triple threats. Like I really don't know, because it's funny. Like a long time ago when they did Rhea, Io, and Charlotte, like Charlotte was the heel in that situation. Like I can't remember last time there's been a triple threat of major, not just like a random like IC contender. I know there was like what was it, like Ray, AJ, and Edge, right? I think they did one a couple years ago.
like on
It
just
was a
like a
triple threat.
normal match.
Yeah, it was a triple threat, right? It's one though, or was it? Oh, it was all
Yeah, it
baby
was. I think
faces.
it was Ray, AJ, and Edge, and
Yeah,
that was part of like the World Heavyweight
yeah.
Championship.
So I
Yeah,
know that's happened, but I'm talking about like at a major PLE pay per view. It's kind of rare to have three,
yeah.
so I could see that happening. But yeah, and it should be a really good match. It's going to be interesting. Only game as did the Canadian Nightmare join his fellow Canadians Canucks booing the national anthem. One, I'm not standing up and just booing in my home. Like I'm not. I react, but I'm not like actually cheering for people. And two, I would have just sat there quietly. I'm not gonna boo a national anthem. That's not gonna do anything. It's just the girls singing. Like I'm not gonna boo the girls singing. Like I get why people do it. All this tariffs and Trump's. I get why people are heated and everything. But it's just like a couple weeks ago when Canada won the hockey game and people were celebrating like if we won the hockey game, that meant we didn't have to join the states. It's like it's just a fucking hockey game. Like relax, everybody. Like no, I'm not. I would just sit there and be like, all right, this is kind of awkward. But so yeah, we got that going on. Bianca won the chamber, which this one I think we all like. There was nobody that I thought was gonna win it. The only
I thought maybe Liv
me
had
too.
like a
Yes,
chance because
because
I
there was
didn't
some
think Bailey or
scuttlebutt about that.
Roxanne were
Yeah,
doing it because I feel like that's the match for. I
yeah,
feel like they are gonna do with this with the Bailey and Roxanne or the Jade and Naomi. I feel like
different
those
nights,
you're getting
right?
the non-title women's
Yeah.
singles match.
And I think you put them on both different nights. To me, that would be great. I really hope it's that. I hope it's not pre-show stuff or WrestleMania SmackDown. Like WrestleMania, you have two nights. You have long enough time. Like you should give them both that. I think like good like 12, 14-minute matches they can do it. Jade's and Naomi's might be a little shorter, but yeah, like I agree with you, Liv. But I think for me, once Liv won the tag titles on Monday, I was down to like a super low percentage on her winning. If she didn't have the tag title, I thought, no, there's always a chance Liv could play the heel. They could play up Liv and Rhea again. But I will say, again, I talked about a couple while ago. I don't know what's happening. I do think for some reason Liv's having her best matches once she lost the title, because a couple weeks ago her and Io on Raw, when she got fucked up, her and Io had great chemistry. That was a really fun, like, fast-paced match. It reminded me of Monet and Shakir's wrestle, what was it, was that Kingdom or what was, because they
Oh,
had,
which one? Oh,
God,
Wrestle Dynasty.
was it whichever night it was
Yeah.
very similar to that. And then legitimately the tag title match they had, her and Raquel versus Io and or sorry, no, versus Bianca and Naomi, that was a great, like, that's one of the best women's tag title matches I've seen the past couple years.
I think on Cage Match it was like the highest rated women's tag team championship match ever.
I
And
would
then it was
believe
like
it,
the
yeah.
top 3 highest rated match of the year for WWE.
And then like Liv in the chamber, like Bianca and the Jade Mo, but Liv was like somehow like the fucking workhorse of it. She started first and she's looked great. So again, it's kind of unfortunate this is happening after the title run, because I feel like if this would happen during it, people wouldn't be so down on it. But like, and I've said this before, Liv's not like in my top 25 or anything, but like I'm a big time Liv defender, because people are like, once she lost, like, yeah, back to the lower mid card for you. It's like, no, like she's good. She's at least good. She can be great in situations, but like she's over with the crowd. I've said this before. She's a fucking profile picture on Netflix. Like, it feel weird to just like, hey, we made her a big star last year. Let's just kill her and get rid of her. It's like, no, like she gets natural reactions. And last night she proved it again. I thought she did a great job, but she got eliminated by Bliss. This is what I'm going to ask you. What is the situation? Do you think it's like a multi-women's match where you got like maybe Kairi Dakota? I could see Naomi and Candice, obviously Liv and Raquel, and then Alexa and maybe even Nikki Cross? Or do you think
That's
we're
what I
gonna
was
get,
about to say. Maybe
yeah,
you do the Alexa and Nikki Cross like
or are
a
we getting
reunion.
Judgment Day and what, Wyatt Six? Like, that's I that with Liv, I'm
I
not
feel
sure which way it's
like
gonna
I
go.
feel like it's the tag titles, because the tag titles they can be on both shows.
Yeah.
So you can have women. I feel like they'll even do an NXT. Like they're sort of on NXT right now. They're sort of building like the team of Zarya and Soruka to the point where they could probably get a tag title shot, because they beat the Metaphor like clean, and those are like they've gotten multiple women's tag team championship matches,
Mm-hmm.
and now this week they're fighting Chelsea and Piper, and I
Okay.
feel like they're probably gonna win
I think
by
so.
pinning one
Yeah.
of them. So I feel like they're probably building them to a point where they can get, and I feel like that could be a match like you do, like defend the women's tag team championships against a bunch of teams.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I know they've said that it's Judgment Day or Wyatt Six. Someone has an injury, so
I
maybe
think
they're
Bo Dallas has been injured for like
okay.
a while.
So maybe that's why they won't do it. But maybe at a pay per view after they'll do the Judgment Day, Wyatt Six thing. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think you're gonna get a 4-way for the women's tag title. So yes, the meme of Liv having the tag rope there, but like put some respect on her. She's been doing some great stuff. And yeah, I thought the women's chamber match was great. Like I said, I think overall it was better than the men's, but the men's final 3 was like better there. But even
Yeah.
then, like Liv and Bianca had some good stuff. Got the hair whipped back, and just a brutal, again, the memes of like Liv is getting
That might
beat
have
up
been like
every
one of the
fucking week.
loudest ones just because it was like in a
Yes.
closed structure there.
She had a cut on her stomach, a cut on her back. It just wrapped around her, and it was it was great. And yeah, she got rid of Bliss. I'm trying to think who. God, you're right. Oh, we talked about it already, but great start, because we were talking about this in the Discord where, man, like, is Jay gonna be there? Is not? And then I was wrong, because no, they're gonna save that for a SmackDown, whatever. And I loved what a creative way that, okay, sure, a couple years ago they had like Kofi get attacked on the way to the ring, and then Edge took a spot. The dumbest shit ever to me.
Oh,
Like, why
that
does
wasn't
Edge
a
get a
couple
spot?
years ago. That was like
Right, it's like a
like
decade ago.
15 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's true. For me, it's like, it feels like that. But like, to me, the dumbest shit ever. Like, why does Edge get his spot? But like, Edge got it and won the match. So dumb. But that's the only similar thing. But to me, it's nothing like that, because that was not for Jade to like get in there. It was just like,
Yeah, it's just revenge.
yeah. And it was great that Liv sold it, because she thought she was coming after
And I
her.
like they rung the bell first so that
Yes.
Jade could get eliminated.
Yeah, and great beatdown, pump kicks thrown against her glass, tries to decapitate her at the door. Jade looked like $1,000,000. Thought it was a
I like
fantastic
the
angle.
photo of Alexis, like she's never seen Jade Cargill in her life. Like,
Yeah, she looks so shocked. Like, I'm trying to catch up on all this, but no, I thought that was like a super hot way to start that chamber match. It just gave it such a different vibe, and it was. I always
and I
love in
like that it left
situations.
Live
Yeah, live
alone, like
alone for a
waiting for
couple
the
minutes.
next
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
they did. Like, I love in Rumbles when they've done that. Like, there's a Rumble. I was gonna say years ago now, like a decade ago, when Punk was doing that for a while. He was just alone in there. He'd just keep throwing people out, and he would go and get the mic, and he'd cut a promo, and then someone would come out, and he'd throw him out, then go back to the promo. Like, I love when they do situations like that. So it was yeah, great way to start. I'm excited for Jade Naomi. I think Jade obviously still like has some work, but now it's kind of like what we talk about with Hook, like you gotta start throwing her in the fire. Like she can't be in a tag team forever, right? So now's the time. Like, and she had a singles career in AEW. They protect her a lot, but now it's time to go. So anything else but the women's chamber? I think I have some stuff, but
Um, I'm not sure. You say your stuff if you have some.
I really love the spot when it was down to Liv and Bianca, where Liv had Bianca on the outside and had her hair and kept throwing her like
Oh yeah.
back to
There
the
were some
ropes of the
points
chamber.
in the women's and men's arms where I thought it was over, like when
Yeah,
like Liv countered the KOD and like Bianca was like right in the position for the Oblivion. I was like, it's Jover, like
yeah,
Liv's winning. And
yeah.
same with like the I forget which of the near falls it was with Punk. I think it was definitely Seth, but I forget which move it was specifically. But there was a point where it was like a 2.99, like
Yeah, yeah.
maybe it was a 3 and they just didn't count it, but it was like a really close one. I think that's what really helped both these matches. Like there were points like even if you didn't fully like if you thought this person's winning for sure, like there were some points where like oh it's over, like
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh, even the first time Cena AA'd Punk, I'm like, oh, it's just over. It's
Oh yeah, when they
2012.
did it right
Yeah.
away, yeah.
Yeah. It's like 2012, 2013 all over again. Cena
And
wins,
then
LOL.
at the same time when Cena did the AA right away and then Punk kicked out, I was like, oh Cena's not like he's not winning now.
Yeah. Yeah. So they did a good job. But no, that was the other one. I just love the back and forth there. And no, did a good job. I'm happy Bianca's back in the singles run. I
Yeah.
think she's like before Rhea was up there. Bianca was the top there, and I'm excited for her to be up at the top again. But I do think that obviously it's tough because Cena just turned heel, so it's almost like you might not want to do that on Monday because like your heel turn is gonna feel like insignificant to John Cena. So maybe it's gonna be like a slow burn heel, where maybe it's not even like heel. She's just doing like questionable things, and maybe even Mania makes a thing. And that's the thing with that triple threat. Honestly, don't know who could win that. I could see them putting the
But I
belt
feel
back on
like
Io.
yeah.
I could see Rhea keeping
Then you
it.
also have the Bianca
Got
streak
the
of it
streak.
all. Yeah.
So it's a match that anybody could win it. So it's going to be interesting. Also on the women's side, we had the Tiffany and Trish tag versus Candice and Nia. To me, this was just like a fine like TV
Yeah,
match that
I thought it was fine. And I think overall this was just a really good show that even the lowest match was still like an enjoyable
yeah,
time.
is to get the crowd going. And like funny enough, I like kind of felt like a breather, even though it's like a hometown person. But yeah, Trish and Tiffany get the win, and yeah, like I said, I think Candice and what's her name,
Nah.
Nia's gonna be probably in some of the tag women, and yeah, no Charlotte healer, but yeah, obviously since Rumble we knew that was happening, but they made it official that she chose Tiffany, and I'm very excited. I do agree with people that like the meme of like it's gonna be the best match of the weekend or like could be the worst. I have faith in them that the styles are gonna go well, but I do think there could be a clash. Like it's not in the realm possibility, but yeah, I'm very excited. Like already to me, like the I know people were mad at some of the WrestleMania stuff, but and people still don't let go of the Jay stuff. Like, get over it. There's other big matches, but like already Cena, Cody, Rhea, Io, and Bianca, whatever that combo is, Charlotte and Tiffany. Like already, those are some big time matches, So I'm excited for it, but. And then we had the unsanctioned match, which makes sense what happened, why it was not going to main event now. You had Randy Orton come back at the end here, but I liked this match. I don't think it lived up the hype fully for me. I'm somebody that when it's like a blood feud, I don't like the crowd brawling. I like that for just like a fun, random, hardcore match, or like that tag match Kevin and Sammy had after they were the, because I can't, did they verse God, who did they verse? Remember they had like a tag match in Canada where they put on hockey jerseys. They had
Oh,
the
that was versus
titles.
the Judgment Day.
Right, yes. That's where I like the crowd stuff. Even last year, you can go back, I did not like in the Cody Seth Roman Rock match when they went to the crowd. I feel like it killed some of the tension and just
The
you
the
just
the
got
KO and Randy tag team match from Backlash last year. That one
yeah,
is
that
so
worked.
good. That one's so fun.
Yes, that
I
was
think
fun.
that's
So
honestly one of my most underrated matches because it's yeah, it was KO and Randy versus Solo and Tama Tonga,
right, Tama
and then
Tonga,
it
yeah.
started with it because it was announced as a regular match, and then they just kept
Yes.
fighting, and Nick Aldis came out and made it like a street fight, and that match is so fun. That was when the
Mhm.
yeah KO does like the what Fisherman's Brainbuster onto like 10 chairs to Tama Tonga.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
that's when he debuted,
yeah,
right?
that's the
Got them the
debut.
win. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Can't wait for the goat to come back. But then once the back half, I didn't hate the crowd stuff, it's just not my jam. But then once they got to the back half, very good, some good visuals, some good storytelling, dangerous bumps, like they did the fucking dragon suplex on the chair. No, I
The
don't want to
barbed
tell.
wire like went all like straight in his eye almost.
Oh, I know. And then like there's that one tour they did the blue thunder bomb on the chairs and it didn't budge at all. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god. But yeah, the dragon suplex one, that's scary because for a while that move was like banned in WWE in the early 2000s. They because Benoit used to do it, and then like yeah, we're not letting you do that
And like
anymore.
Triple
So
H did it that one time to Daniel Bryan at
right, yeah,
WrestleMania.
at 30, yeah, he did. So
Yeah.
it was like the pile driver for a while. But no, I thought it was very good in the back half. Again, I get that Randy needs a big match. I wish this was the Mania match. I think a hardcore match too would have been like a good kind of breather. Maybe they didn't want to do the crowd stuff. I really don't know what you're gonna do with Sammy. I do not want the Karen Cross thing to
I
have the
think there's
people.
a chance he's just out like past the Mania
No,
or up to Mania.
there's no. He may have been the last two Manias. He's gonna be, or, Owens did, but he may have ended it a couple of years ago. Like wow, I feel like he has to be somewhere.
I don't think Cross is even like having a match. Like he
No.
wasn't in the Rumble. Or like I feel like he's not even gonna have a Mania match. Like even with the Sammy storyline.
Yeah, I don't. I just feel like unless Sammy's shoot hurt, I don't know how they keep him off of Mania. He's one of their top guys. I don't know. I guess you could always throw him in the multi-man, but yeah, what did you think about this match? And yeah, it looks like we're getting Randy and KO at Mania. And my prediction, I think Randy's gonna get a win because I think Randy hasn't won at Mania in like quite a while actually. So, in a
Uh,
singles.
yeah, no, I like the match. Like you said, yeah, the crowd brawling I thought like wasn't like huge on it, but I think the back half was really good when they started just being in the ring. And I like the finish of the apron power bombs,
Yeah,
and then he just gets the pin there.
I love that they like. I'm not gonna say bosh it. It's just like in the middle. The second one didn't go well, but I love
But I
that
thought it
Sammy right
worked. It's like
away.
Sam, yeah, he had like
Yeah,
the last
fighting.
chance of it. Yeah.
So smart. It was great. And yeah, it was a full circle to like that's how Owens turned on him the first time in NXT. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with Sammy. I feel like he's one of the top guys. I feel like it's hard to leave him off. But and yeah, Kevin and Randy, that should be good. I think I did say Randy I think will win. I guess I could see Kevin winning. Think Kevin needed this because I said this. I couldn't find a stat. I don't know the last time Kevin won a one-on-one match on a pay-per-view. It's been or PLE. It's been
I
I
can
feel like
try and find it. Let
I
me
feel like it's
see.
been ages, like one on one, because they're also using tags and team matches, but like one on one, I don't know when it's been, but
Let me
yeah, I
see
think
if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna try
yeah.
and find.
So again, I wish this happened. I wish even then I don't know what else you could have done with Randy. It's tough. That's the tough thing. They got lots of stars, and even with 2 night WrestleManias, it's tough to get everyone to a big match. So we'll see. I do one thing we didn't mention.
I can tell you what
Okay.
his last singles, or I'll give you. It was at WWE Hell in a Cell 2022,
Oh my god, that's the last time he won.
a singles match on a pay-per-view.
22, so 4 years or 3 years ago now, roughly 2.5, I'll say, but still, yikes. That's yeah. Well, he needed that win. Good for him because that's
Do
a
you wanna know
long
who
time.
it was who he beat?
Was it Randy?
No,
No, who was it? Was it Sammy?
Ezekiel.
It was. Oh god, I forgot Zeke. Oh god, I forgot
I'll
about the
also tell you I
storyline.
have a trivia. Do you want to try and guess when the last main roster unsanctioned match was, or what it was.
Oh, what it was.
I can give you some hint. I can give you
Just
like
give me
some hints.
what was the year, just so I know what superstars I got. Right now.
2020.
Okay, so it's COVID era. I feel like is it Seth and Ray? No,
No.
because they did that angle where Seth tried to like take out his
That was like an
eyeball.
eye for an eye match. That was
Right.
like the
Have,
actual stipulation.
have you ever seen the video where he like makes Ray's eye
I've
pop
never
in his
seen the
head?
actual part of
It's
it.
so
I know
dumb.
it. I know people say it looks bad, but
It
like in
does.
like it's like a plastic eyeball. But
Oh yeah, and it literally pops out. It's like, don't do that. Oh man, what? Okay, that was my feel. I'm trying to think of other death feuds. They didn't count Drew and Big Show as unsanctioned, right? From WrestleMania.
no, that
Remember,
was a
that's the real
normal match.
WrestleMania.
I'll tell you,
Okay,
Randy is in this match.
is it him and Jeff? Did they? Because they had or him and Drew.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Oh, it's the Christian one, isn't it? Right? When
you're
Christian.
close, but it's not.
Oh my God.
It's
Because I
that
know.
storyline.
Yeah, it's
It is a legend.
so it's either Big Show, Shawn, Flair, or Hunter.
Which one of those would have had a match, the capacity of a match out of those you just said?
I'm at. I was gonna say Triple H, but that was in Saudi, and that was just I think a regular match, right? So
You
was
were
it
really close. You said the name
was it Big
out of
Show?
those four. Yeah, it's Big Show.
Fucking Big Show. I
I think
almost
that was
got there
his last
before Big
WWE. I
Show.
think that was his last WWE match.
And why was that even
It
unsanctioned?
was on Raw too.
Like Christian would make sense because at the time it was like he wasn't cleared to wrestle, but like Big Show was still like could wrestle. Oh
I mean,
God.
it's like a 5.23 uncaged match. So I guess not a terrible match. I guess.
Again, out of 10 people, that's not out of 5 or anything.
That was the main event there.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was not watching or anything like that. All he says, how's Pat's working for you on the commentary? He's 50-50 for me. I think sometimes he's good, sometimes he's annoying. I think sometimes I get it because he is a big star outside, or at least a name. I think sometimes it's with too much. Like there's too much Pat when they do like it's a commercial break or in between matches and they're doing some segment with Pat. But it's what they do. So like for me, it's not like I don't hate Pat like a lot of other people. I think just like, oh, he's the worst. But I also would not be like sad if they're like Pat's never commentating ever again. You know, like I wouldn't be like, oh man, one of my favorites is gone. So I'm 50-50 on him. How are you on Pat's commentary?
I feel like I don't really notice him most of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't have a huge issue with it.
Yeah. So there it is. And yeah, I guess apparently people said he was like actively like really upset during the like booing of the national anthem, like off camera, and he made a couple comments of it. But it's like, I don't know, dude. What do you expect? Like, don't get worked up. It's just like calm down, move on. But nonetheless, anything else from the show? I liked the show overall. If I were to grade it, I think it's like obviously taking the angle out because that's like a 10-10 all-timer will always be remembered. The show overall I think for me is like a 8 because like the tag match was fine, but like it was just kind of there. And like I said, Sammy and KO didn't live up exactly to the expectations. Men's Chamber, I won't say started slow, but just started fine. But overall I think it was like an 8 out of 10. That's where I am on it.
Yeah, I'd probably be like I don't know, like an 8.5 or 9. I really
Yeah.
like the show. I'd probably put it above the Rumble, just like
I think so,
in a
yeah.
ranking. I really liked it, and
Yeah.
no, yeah, I thought it was a great show overall. Obviously, with a great ending.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about them a little bit earlier, and we can talk about. So we'll combine this with NXT and some of these free agents. So Ricky Saints finally got his free agency. I do laugh again the fact that Kenta had that Defy title for like they said like 200 or some 600 days. Ricky beats him, then 4 days later he's gone. And like sometimes you just gotta read the room. When he did his like a little goodbye video, and he's like, "Don't forget to be absolute." It's just like, come on, dude. Like you're just screwing this promotion. Like it's fine, but he got his release. Miro got his release, and then Malachi Black either got his release or his contract just
I
came
think it
up.
was just a contract.
Yeah,
okay.
Phoenix is like still TBD. There's been things that they're like, I think it was PWI said like, yeah, WWE has plans for him. I wonder if it's like a wait and see, but and the rumor is both Miro and Black are back on their way to WWE in some form. I see the money in Black. I don't really see it in Miro right now. I know people are probably like, but Rusev Day. I just when we're talking about like how we don't even know where Sammy or like Logan Paul's match for WrestleMania, it's like unless they're going to NXT, which is always fine because you want to spruce up that roster. I'm like, I don't know what you can do with some of these guys.
Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah, Black never got his full potential because he went to the main roster when Vince was like, that's not a Vince guy. He has no idea what to do with him. Where Triple H, I think, does. I think
I've read the whole story of like his pitch to Vince for WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's no way.
You see that one, right? Yeah, where he like wanted to kidnap Vince and like possess him, and that was gonna be a Mania match.
I like. Kudos to him being creative, but Vince was never going to go for anything like that. But so that, and then what do you think about, Ricky Saints had his debut. What was the last event? I can't remember. I did watch it finally. I watched NXT. What was it that just happened?
It was just a normal episode of...
No, the four-way, since we've been on.
Vengeance Day.
Yeah, Vengeance. Yeah, I thought that was really good. Even the Femi match, people were like, even myself, like, what we doing here? He looked like $1 million. Yeah, that was a good show, and we got like a big roadblock coming up. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the free agency stuff and some NXT stuff going on? Teasing some trick heel turn. Now he's probably like, oh man, I was gonna turn heel and John Cena turn. He could be one. You know what? He would be a great War Games. Yeah, like new up and comer. Sure, even though like, come on, like you can't get rid of the chant. Just make it Carmelo. But yeah, what are some of your thoughts here?
No, yeah, I think that was just like a big day that we sort of missed because it was in between our shows of just like them all getting released like that weekend. And yeah, like you said, I think maybe like Rusev in NXT, like they sort of need some guys down there to do stuff.
Him and Obafemi, that's a good meat match right there,
Yeah.
So, will he do the job though? That's the question. He can do the job.
He'll get DQ'd.
Yeah, count out win for Obafemi when he puts him through a table. Does the NXT is their commentary table? I can't remember.
It's still the old one. Yeah,
okay,
they've
so
broken it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. There you go.
Yeah, Obafemi put I think Grayson Waller through the.
That's the finish right there. Rusev through the table. Count out win for Obi. Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I think Malachi. Yeah, probably main roster. Rusev, like I said, I don't really know what to do. Maybe with NXT. And I feel like with this whole Penta Dunn Kaiser story, I feel like they're sort of holding on for like, let's see if Ray's coming in or not.
Exactly. Because I feel like it's easy with Penta. It's like if Ray can't come in, they just pivot him to one of the multi-man. Because
they'll put him on like Ray's team for a match or something.
Yeah, they could do that. Or if they do a multi-man match for the IC title, throw Penta in there with Braun and everybody, right? Like we haven't talked about that, but the rumor is like the IC and US. Not that they both could be, but at least one of them might be. At first it was the US, but now Braun, which I'm disappointed. I would actually love Braun and AJ Mania. I think that would be like, that could be a show stealer mid-card match. And I also just think, because we talk about the Rumble, I think Braun just deserves a one-on-one match. More will come, so it's fine if it doesn't happen. But Penta, you could easily pivot into there. Or if Ray's back, you could put him as a tag team, like lots of stuff there. And yeah, what do you think about Ricky Saints' debut? Because I thought it was like, I liked the contract signing. I like how they did it with the Scott Hall tribute. I thought the actual match was like, it was fine. I thought it was going to be maybe a bit of a bigger showcase, so I know that could more come down the line, but it seems to be over with the crowd and people are excited, and I think NXT is a good spot for him right now. So
no, yeah, I did like the first match there a lot. I think it continued obviously like the Giovanna and Paige feud, and then I feel like it is building obviously like a singles match between Wes and Ricky. I feel like that probably could happen at like Roadblock.
That's gonna be good. I think
big win there. Yeah.
Just something about those two, I feel like they could have good chemistry because like Ricky can.
I thought they had good chemistry just when they were the final because Paige and Javon just like fought to the back. Yeah. And yeah, I thought it was a good debut. And I think he fits in really well in NXT.
Could he be the guy that beats Obi for the NXT title? I feel like he's an option. I don't know if it's for sure.
I feel like it is an option, yeah. Because I feel like if they're turning, because I mean, Oba is like kind of a face. I mean, he's
becoming more face now. Like it's people, you can't not cheer for that guy. Like it's just like he's just a cool wrestler. That's the problem. Like he's a powerhouse. He's cool. He has a great vibe. Like they'd have to just have him doing some dastardly things because he's versing Moose next, right? And that's gonna be too bad we're not here. David pitched Moose for the Rumble and he got him in NXT. So. Which that'll be, and he's in TNA a lot recently, always. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because the roadblock matches are looking like, yeah, you have Julia versus Stephanie,
yes.
title versus title. You have Fraxium versus the Hardys just for the TNA titles.
just,
Uh,
just for the doesn't that make you think though that the Hardys are gonna win though? Because I
I
feel like
don't
if
know.
Fraxium was winning, wouldn't you just say for both titles? So that's I didn't know it
Yeah,
was
I
for
don't know.
one. I feel like Hardys might hook or crook it, win it. When is Roadblock again? Is that
Next
2 week?
week,
Like this upcoming Tuesday or the one
like
after?
the one after, it's
Okay,
the
okay, good. No,
11th,
I
I
want to watch
think.
that one because that's a good
Yeah,
card so far. And the
and
Julia
then
Stephanie
yeah,
thing is very curious because that's been we've had reports that oh Julia's really banged up, injury time, and oh she's not that banged up all. But I think it'll be a good match and it'll be interesting just to see how they lay that out. So
yeah. What else is there for Roadblock? Yeah, like I said, Ricky versus Wes could probably happen.
yeah,
And then I feel like if they're gonna do the Trick versus what's his name? I already forgot his
Eddie
name. Eddie
Eddie Thorpe,
Thorpe
yeah.
underground match. Because that's like Eddie's gimmick. Like
Okay,
he's
there you
like
go.
I don't think he's ever lost an underground match.
There you go. Never paid off that. I thought for sure The Rock was gonna beat up Eddie Thorpe so at some point, but never
Well, because he
happened.
faked it. He never actually did it.
Yeah, that's true. Right. He's gonna be on. But he still pushed Ava out of the way,
Oh
right?
yeah, I
Remember?
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he'll be on Rock Cena's team for War Games. So he'd be like, "Oh, I respect a man who can do this." But all in the game, we don't have time today. Don't get me started on Carmelo and the Miz. Tune in. You know what's gonna happen? March 16th, GM mode stream. I'm gonna go out of my way and try to draft Carmelo Hayes. Now watch S Buzz or Dave Gavin. I'm gonna try to draft Carmelo Hayes. I'm gonna make him a fucking star on my roster, my on my show winning roster that can beat S Buzz and David. I'm gonna make Carmelo one of my main pieces. You can watch how Carmelo Hayes should be booked over at the Travis Snell, whatever brand we get. You know, I don't know which brand I'll be picking, but yeah, him teaming the Miz, just fucking just an anchor on him, just an anchor. Like him, he's been versing to Zawa and like who else? Like he wrestled someone else. Oh, R-Truth in like a competitive match. Who that's another person I want Cena to fucking kill. R-Truth. I want him because he's childhood hero. They need to do a moment where Cena does that. But yeah, Carmelo, I just Triple H to me just doesn't see it as of right now. Just crazy. Anything else on NXT?
Um, no, I'd say Roblox is looking like a good show, and
Oh yeah.
Stand and Deliver, I feel, is going to be a really good show as well.
Yeah. I think because it's funny, last time I had watched an NXT stint was from Vengeance Day to Stand and Deliver, and that's what I'm doing here. But I just feel like obviously NXT, like yourself, and I see on my timeline, has lots of fans like that say it's the best brand. But I feel like they really cook it up around this time. Like they get people like myself where it's like, okay, I gotta go like tune into this one, which I want to do more consistently. But yeah, looks like a big show. So before we do Revolution, give me I guess we can just say we don't have the points, but the draft. You want to announce the placing of the
Yeah,
draft and
I
how
could.
announce who you can say at least how the person got the number one spot, what match it depended on there. So
Yeah, I can go on like I can probably give like a vague
like an
estimate
estimate,
because I
yeah,
think I
sure,
have it like written down of like some of these totals.
yeah.
So I think in third place would be David, and he'd be around like 950 something points because he
And
got the Bianca win there, so like 100
and
points.
did he have a Rumble winner too?
He
In
had no, you had Jay.
oh right, randomly, yeah. If it wasn't that, I will say I think for the first half of the year, David was far and away from us. But it's almost like if he
He
had
got close.
another
Like
month,
there were
yeah.
some weeks where like all of his wrestlers would have matches and like win, and
If
he'd
he
get
had
like
a
20 points in a week.
if he had another month, I think maybe he could have caught us and beat us. Obviously, some chamber stuff happened, but still, like big comeback because David for a while was at least 200 to 300 away from us. But near the end of the year, he was getting close. So shout out David for the comeback. Didn't get the win, but he made a run for it. So
Yeah. Then second place, you had Travis,
come
and
on, punk.
you were like at probably like 1,000, uh, 1,050, like 60 something, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah. And then there was me, and I was in first place, and I was at like 1,200 ish because of the 100 points there for Cena as well.
Yes. For people that don't know, for some of the bigger events like a Money Bank Cash In, Rumble Wins Chambers, they're worth more points. And what happened is we all drafted 10 people, 11 we all had a jobber, but throughout the year we got points for wins, appearances, for losses, all that type of stuff, title defenses, all that jazz, right? And yes, S-Bubs, congratulations, sir, you've won the first one. I will say it's kind of like how in the video game draft where Kirkland had the method of drafting games really early. He won the first year we did it. Now that you've put in my brain of the part-time draft pick, I got to be more careful because like when you start doing like, oh right, that's like with scene and everything. So next year I'm going to be factoring that a lot more. Like, okay, who could be around for
I
just these
think
couple
the
months
thing
to
that was is
switch?
like I actually lost a lot of points like in the first half of the year
Mm-hmm.
because I picked like pretty much the first draft. I picked all the people I thought who were gonna win at WrestleMania or like win titles. But
Yes,
then the problem is like obviously if they have titles, they're not wrestling as much
and
on
like Cody
TV.
just promos
Yeah,
all the
Kobe.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I lost a lot of points there. But then in the back half, I had some injuries like Bronson Reed. I drafted like right before War Games and he got hurt.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
or what else? Yeah, there were some other ones in there, but I think overall it went pretty well for all three of us. Like definitely got close
Yes.
by the end.
Yes, it kept it competitive. So yeah, that's what we'll do next time. Like I said, probably beginning of April, we'll do our WrestleMania predictions and we'll redraft. And I guess we can talk about then if we're going to count the other weeks or wait till Mania. I'm not sure. We'll go from there and see. But yeah, we're going to do that again. We'll draft 10. We'll see what happens and go from there. So yes, congratulations, sir, on winning the first annual draft. Not going to happen again. Not going to happen again. I'm going to, bummed out. I used to do a draft with my sister and Emily all the time, and I was like undefeated there. Now I've lost this one, so I gotta make a comeback and go look. WrestleMania's gonna be interesting because same thing. It's like Cena's there, Punk's there, so it's like you get Cena for that one. It's do I pick up a Malachi Black and hope that he pops up, or does just go to fucking NXT? I'm like, oh no, but okay. And then finally, we're gonna do a quick rundown next weekend. Well, obviously, we won't review it. We'll probably do a quick review when we do the WrestleMania predictions because it is a bigger show. It's as Wikipedia lists it, one of the big fives. It's like, I guess okay, they're barking that way, but yes, Revolution's happening. Um, the
Did you see the Outrunners thing? They tweeted out the
yes.
Outrunners versus Hurt Syndicate match graphic like a minute after Cena did the heel turn, and people were talking, people were like making fun of it, and they deleted the tweet.
I imagine it was just a scheduled tweet because I think
Yeah.
that they do that a lot of time when there's lots of people are on wrestling Twitter so they can see something. But
Hmm.
we could start there. That's one of the matches. So far, I will say for myself, AEW has been a lot more consistent later. It's been better. I do have some big issues. I'll talk about them later on when we get to the Death Rider stuff. But I do think that there's a few stories that have been really good, and I think there's certain people like MJF where it's like, okay, we I don't know what happened with the Jarrett thing completely. That whole Jarrett thing, like,
That was a rule that they just completely dropped
yeah,
it.
they dropped it.
Yeah.
I think it, there's a pro and con, right? Because you could argue that your fans bullying you maybe, but you do got to watch and you do got to get when there's people like myself who've been there since day one, and I'm diehard AEW fan. I'm like, this is making me want to turn off. That's like, okay. We're losing the people that've been with us since like the being the elite
I
days.
think
We got to
people
be
said like
careful.
the first month or two of this year, like Jeff Jarrett had the most total
Yes.
combined like promo time
That was
out of
always my
anyone.
issue. It was not that Jeff Jarrett's being used; it's like how he's being used. And now I'll even see if like is he going to do this whole storyline, getting the world title? Is that just dropped? Who knows? But I think overall it's been better than it had been. Well, I guess we're in the new year. I'd say in the back half of the year they've gotten some people back. I think they've done a better job of making like. Obviously, I didn't watch last night because of Chamber, but I do want to go like having Adam Cole and Garcia. It's like okay, that's like a bigger match. I think they're doing a good job of trying to put stuff on Collision that's not completely skippable. I usually skip it because it's just on Saturday and stuff, and I'll watch it after the fact. But I think that's a smart idea. It's always tough. Like again, Collision on that Saturday spot, like that's a death nail for them with like especially the pay per views. But overall, there's been some stuff that I've enjoyed. There's other stuff that I haven't, but you got that match where the Hurt Syndicate outrunners. For me, that's a bathroom break. I've said it before. I don't really care. I'm not like the biggest Bobby Lashley guy. The outrunners for me is not a. I get why people like the gimmick. It's not a gimmick for me. Like I would much rather like to me like Well, I get it that they may not want them to lose. Like, why is FTR not here? Like, I would love to see like Lashley and Benjamin versus them. Maybe we're probably gonna get there, but this is just the Hurt Syndicate winning. I don't think you're thinking the Hurt Syndicate's losing here, do you? Or you got a
No,
hot
yeah,
take?
they're winning. I feel like it could probably even be like a squash.
I could think so too. I'll mention on the pre-show, you got Big Boom AJ with the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe versus Johnny T and MXM collection. So that's Mansoor and Mason. I do think putting Big Boom AJ with Orange Cassidy is like a great idea. Like that's like the same type of aura. I will say, as someone that's not a fan of it, I am surprised it's still in the pre-show because last time I got big reception from the crowd and they liked it. I think
it was originally announced to be on the main show, but I think that was before all this AEW is getting good again stuff. And it's like, yeah, let's put that on the pre-show now.
And that's a tough thing. And I will say, like, right now, you have Cena turning heel. There's nothing AEW could put on the greatest wrestling show in the history of wrestling. You're not going to pull people away. WWE's too hot, and you can't compete with that angle. You don't have the history. You don't have the star power. So this is where I'd say, like, I know AEW wants to do the WWE thing.
So I put the belt on Cope. Bring in
we'll
those WWE fans.
No, don't do that. That's where you got to go the reverse of like, oh, let's bring in celebrities. Right now, you got to be the exact opposite of WWE, where people might go like, okay, there's this, but when they show highlight videos of Jey Uso and what a bad wrestler he is, that's where you need to go. That make AEW right now just a pure we're about wrestling right now. Have a few stories, but make it ECW. It's about the wrestling. Really play into like we're the best wrestlers. So like if Wrestlemania comes along and there's like 5 or 4 matches where people are like, oh, this fucking sucked, that's where you can at least go like, oh, that's why you watch AEW. Because even for myself, when storylines are bad, usually the in-ring quality is never an issue with AEW, right? Like people can go. So that's what I'm saying right now with AEW. That's what you have to do. Don't focus on storyline stuff. I know it sounds bad, but like focus on like just really good wrestling and get yourself that way. And I guess you're right. That's probably why Big Boom AJ is on the pre-show, so it might turn people off because I'm not watching this match. I'm not watching Big Boom. I didn't know who he was till AEW. I didn't watch the last one. I'm glad people like it. Big Boom AJ gets the win here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage. Don't really know why we're doing this again. I thought it was kind of perfect where they had the match when they were friends, like still team, and Ospreay won, and then they did the Fletcher rematch where Fletcher was a heel, and that was his big win, and then Ospreay beat him in the tournament. So I thought that was kind of a good sign off for now, like pick up on it later, but it's kind of, which is a good thing, I guess. I don't know who should lose this match. I feel like if Kyle loses this match, you're kind of killing this like upturn of him being a heel, but then Ospreay has lost a lot lately, so you want to win. So don't get me wrong, I think it's gonna be a good match. I think they were smart to put in a cage, make it something different. I'm just kind of curious why it's happening now, other than just to get them on the card. But yeah, what do you think about this? And who do you? I honestly,
I don't know who would win because I think with that Full Gear match, I thought like going in, I thought Ospreay would win, but then I thought like obviously he needs to win. Like, Fletcher needed to win because he was just turned heel.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I feel like... Because then, I'm also thinking, like, obviously, if Ospreay wins this, he's probably going in, like, the title picture. I feel like they want to get him there already.
But then
unless
right
they
now,
don't. They don't.
And they have, oh gosh, who is... Right, they did say that MJF and Hangman, the winner of that's the number 1 contender. So that's where it's like...
it's Swerve and Ricochet, yeah.
Right, yeah, thank you, yes. Yeah, I'm sure Ricochet's winning that. We'll get to it. He's done some good work, but I just feel like the second they said that, I'm like, oh no, that's
Ricochet
Swerve.
versus Cope.
Don't get me started. Did Cope happen? We were on or off air. I can't remember. But
I don't think so.
I've never called this man Cope.
That was the first week. So I think maybe you were like that was like the week of the Raw Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really talked about it that much.
I still, as a jerk, will always call him Edge, but even then, I would call him Adam Copeland. I'm not calling him Cope.
I feel like I always have to call him Cope now.
Oh yeah, you have to for the meme of it all. But yeah, that's the tough thing. I'm gonna say Fletcher because I feel like they don't want Ospreay title picture right now because you got the Swerve thing, and then
I feel
Fletcher
like you
wins,
can have the the classic Don Callis gives
Yes.
him a
Screwdriver to
screwdriver.
head, throw it in. And plus, if Fletcher wins this, now it's 2-2, right? They're tied up, and then you could run it back again later on. So I'm gonna say Fletcher gets the win, like you said, hooker crook with Callis, or maybe it's somebody else screwing him over. So I'm gonna say officially Fletcher is my prediction.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you there.
Okay, so the next up we got MJF and Hangman. I've been loving this stuff. I've said this before. Next to Cody, and Cody will have times where he's just very generic white meat babyface, right? So my favorite character wrestler right now is Hangman. I love that he is a man that will end Christopher Daniels' career, and then weeks later be so upset that MJF attacked the same man. I love, like, there's so many layers going on. He's so conflicted. I love weeks ago when he's looking for Swerve, and then the week after, like, what's that about? He's like, oh, I had a moment of weakness. What the fuck does that mean, a moment of weakness? What was he gonna do? Like, why was he going to Swerve? Like, was he gonna apologize? Like, I love this character, and it's consistent. I don't think it's the Fuller writers. I think it's a lot of Adam Page. I've loved everything with him and MJF. I think this is the MJF I like, where it hasn't been a bunch of like, I'm gonna sleep with your hot wife. Like, MJF's always gonna have that, right? But when the feud is just MJF internet troll, you lose that. You can have that for a little bit, but this is a good thing of like talking about, okay, to beat you, I can be the third world champion. You've done all this stuff, and they cheer you. Where like, I haven't done half that stuff, and they boo me. I fucking hate these people. I actually really like that he got the tattoo removed. I don't know if he did or not, because like you could easily just put makeup over it. Maybe the tattoo was never real to begin with. I don't know. That's what I do love about MJF. He's one of those, like, he is very baby punk, where at times you'd be like, what is real, what's not. I think this is going to be really good. I think this is a good card. That's why I will say they've done a great job with the match lineup. I think this has a chance to be the match of the night. And same thing, I could see either one winning. I think I'm going to go with MJF just because I don't think it's over. And for me, I think months ago I was complaining like Jay White beat Hangman, right? Now that Hangman's a babyface, he can lose a couple times because that kind of adds to his like psyche breaking all the time, right? But when they were booking him as like fucking mini Brock Lesnar in the Gauntlet, where he just ran and like threw 6 guys around, but then like a week later he's losing to Jay White, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. So I think MGF wins here because I don't think this feud's probably over. I think it's kind of a step to it, but I think it's gonna be really good. But what would you say here between the two here?
I don't really know who's gonna win.
Which
I
is good. There's a lot of
think,
matches on the card that are
yeah.
like that. So
If I had to give a prediction, I think I'd go with Hangman,
going
just
with
to
Hangman.
like build him up. Because I feel like if you do a second match, you can have MJF cheat or like brutalize him to build
Yeah.
it back for the third match, where Hangman is like the true full baby face and just takes him
Yeah.
down.
Christopher Daniels in his corner, all that jazz and stuff. And that's for me. I know people want Ospreay's gonna. I do want Heyman to get back to, especially with this character. I want him to get back to that main title picture. I'm not sure. I know people are fantasy booking. I don't want to get too hyped. The idea of Swerve winning the title and then they do all in Swerve and Hangman. I'm with people. I would love that. I think that's the most AEW feud option to go with, but I don't know if that's happening. We'll talk about when we get to Moxley and Edge here, fucking Cope. But there you go. We're split there. Swerve and Ricochet singles match to determine the number one contender of the AEW Championship. I will say, Ricochet, he's doing great stuff. This is why when people talk about why it's great to have two wrestling companies, this character in AEW or WWE he couldn't do, because it's like he couldn't tack Swerve with scissors, right? And it's kind of like this like. I feel like he's doing the storyline where it's the nerd that got bullied in high school and he's coming back to like bully them. Like he's taking it out
Yeah.
on people that had nothing to do with the bullying, right? Because I hated that Hurt Syndicate stuff that happened with them. They made him look like a bitch, but they've done a good job of like, he's playing a bitch character that's like, he's going to poison you. He's going to kill you in his sleep. Like it kind of worked. I love that he took Prince Nana's jacket and he's been wearing it ever since then. And I like that Nana's like, hey, this is super embarrassing. If you don't win it back from him, like I can't manage you anymore, Swerve. Like and Nana gave like a great promo this week on AEW. So I think this
That's
will
right.
be
What I was
good.
gonna say, I feel like if this number one, like, because of that Nana thing, I feel like maybe Ricochet actually wins this.
Really?
I feel like you could get Nana turning on Swerve somehow, or if not,
Oh my
like
God.
Ricochet
That'd be
wins through like
huge.
a cheating roll up, and then you get like Nana turning on Swerve, and then like I feel like because number one contendership that could be like a dynamite match. And I
Absolutely.
feel like you have Swerve cost them that, and then that's still in like the world title picture, and then you have like an actual like grudge match there between Swerve and well, because Ricochet won the first one,
He did,
right?
but it was like he attacked him before. I thought
Yeah.
he was, yeah. Swerve was injured, so they had like a match, but it wasn't like a full match. This will be the first time they have like a both guys are
Yeah.
clean and
I
not
don't know.
damaged or
I feel
anything.
like Ricochet could win it. I think that's gonna be my prediction.
So do you are you, so does that mean like I guess we can tie in this match now? Do you think that means are you booking Ricochet versus John Moxley for Dynamite? Is that what you're doing?
I think so.
Oh my god, that's such like I'm not even saying that would be bad because I think that like that's an interesting dynamic. I just don't see. Oh, I don't think you could make that the main. That has to be the
Which one
opener of
would you which
Dynamite.
one would you rather? Would you rather Ricochet versus John Moxley, Ricochet versus Cope, Swerve versus John Moxley, or Swerve versus Cope,
Swerve
or
versus.
or Ricochet versus Christian,
I was gonna say
Swerve
I knew
versus
you were gonna throw in
Christian.
Christian. I don't want to subscribe to that right now. I think Edge. I think Edge and Swerve has a good chance to actually be quite good. I think they have a good dynamic there. Swerve and like so that would be my pick. But I also don't think Edge needs to be the world champion right now. Like I don't, and I don't want them to do. You've pitched it. Other people pitched it. I don't want them to do. Edge wins the title and Christian cashes in. They literally did that last year. It's the exact like to me
That
that
was
is like
not non-canon now, so they can do it
yeah
again.
yeah. Oh, that was what's his name from ROH that
That was
booked
Adam
it.
Copeland. That was in Cope. It never happened in Cope.
Yeah, new record. So I really don't want that. I so that's where it's like it's tough. I want Swerve and Cope, but I don't know if that needs to be for the title. Um, I do think there's some. I think there's a if you put Ricochet and Edge on the mic together, the same thing that happened to Starks, I think there's a chance Ricochet gets fucking eaten up. Because I don't care what people. Ricky can be like, oh, I think everyone saw what happened there, and that guy. It's like, okay, sure, you can say it was shitty for Edge to maybe like go below the belt, but he still did, and that's an AEW thing, and like you got to be ready. And when Ricky's whole thing was like, "You sent me over the edge," it's like, dude, you lost the promo. And same thing. Like, I don't think Ricochet like Edge, and like he's not what he used to be. I still love the guy; he's a top 10 of mine, but Edge can still wordplay better than a lot of other people. So I would not trust if they were to get down in the dirt. If they just play up the character and Ricochet plays up the whole like like that, then they're fine. But if they ever get like real, Edge is gonna eat that man up. Ricochet cannot go toe to toe with Edge on the mic. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics here. But I just I don't know. I want to believe in my soul that they're going to pivot and Moxley's going to lose. I just don't believe it. I think Moxley is keeping it, and I think if anyone's mad about it, they'll just say, "Well, you guys want long-term storytelling. That's what we're doing." Everyone complains about it. So I think Moxley's going to win here. And
Do you
I
think
think
he's holding it until All In
I
for
do.
Darby to come win it with Sting helping him?
I do. I really do, and I hate it, but I do think they're going to stick to it. I think it's also a way of like Tony is probably very paranoid, and I do think if you piss Moxley off, if you give Moxley his full story, even if it's you know whatever a little iffy, it's like he's saying about Roman. He's like, oh, it's like you got to stay tuned, like you got to let the story play out. Like he's talking about like Bloodline Cinema and stuff.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, he had that one interview.
yes, I think if Tony lets Moxley play out the story, Moxley is staying. But I think if they make a pivot, I think there is a legit chance Moxley's like, I'm fucking out of here. WWE's gonna throw him a bunch of money, and there is 10 storylines for Dean Ambrose to come back to. There is so much stuff. He could be a surprise entrance on Team Cody for War Games. Like, imagine that fucking pop. Like, there is a plethora, and Tony knows that. That's why people, I get it. People say like, oh, Tony fumbled, like the Ricky Starks chant, right? It is Ricky Saints. It is funny, but like, it didn't make a big difference that Ricky left, right? Moxley leaving does, I think, leave a difference. I think there are people that, he still like does enough merch and people that support him. So I think Moxley beats Edge. Maybe Christian tries to cash in and it's unsuccessful. And I think Swerve wins here. And we get Swerve and Moxley on like I don't know what's coming up next. They always have some fucking like the
They have
lake
like
at the
TV
lagoon
specials like
special.
every two
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah, I'd
The,
have to
the
see like
the
let's
thumbtack
see.
war. Like they make up some sort of thing where it's like, all right, like it's not Grand Slam, obviously, but That's what I think they do is Swerve and Moxley in a special on TV. And I will say, because after this, we're going to move on to talk about
You
just.
have AEW Dynasty on start of April.
Oh, just April? Oh,
April 6th.
And that's,
AEW
yeah,
Dynasty.
you could
less than a month after Revolution.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do Swerve and Moxley there. That's easy. That's like a month build. So that's what I think is going to happen. And my point is, what I'll say here, because we're going to move on to the last 3 matches after this. Absolutely hate what they're doing with Edge and the Death Riders thing. To me, you have them kill Bryan. I liked that. It was a good angle. I like the idea of the young AW talent getting together. How do we take out these guys that are just trying to murder us, right? The fact that pay-per-view ended with like Daniel Garcia and Darby and Cassie all watching together, right? And the subsequent weeks they try to beat the Death Riders and Moxley, they can. Edge alone, pretty
Coke
much
came back, and then that story just magically disappeared of the young guys wanting to win the title.
Yeah, and then All in the Game says, don't get the Mox Death Riders thing. It's awful. And like I said, I don't think it started awful, but I think when you go into the people trying to take over a company, you run that risk of, okay, why is Edge now doing this alone? Yeah, he has Jay White and Will Nightingale, sure. But like, really, it's like him, like, I'm going to set traps for the Death Riders and get them. It's like, no one else.
One of the best ones was him locking Marina, where he snuck attack Moxley from off camera, and then he locks Marina in just like
Undertaker
a closet,
out of nowhere. So that's where it's like, I wouldn't have minded if it's like Edge with the newbies and he's like helping them as like the whole unit. It's like, oh, you could play up that Edge has been doing this for 30 years. He's a veteran. He helped us get to this point. Maybe he doesn't beat Moxley, but he helps takes down the Death Riders. Kind of like with Cody and Roman, right? Like if Darby wins, Edge should be at the crowd lifting Darby up. But the problem is it's gone so centric of him just being able to take out these people. It's like, I imagine on what is it on the show this weekend, we might get another heel turn from somebody that joins the Death Riders. Unless it is just
the theory is that it's Jack Perry coming back to join the Death Riders.
Don't do it. Don't do that. That's a big mistake. That's like, and I don't hate Jack Perry like other people. I think Jack can be talented. I think there's a place for him, but obviously the scapegoat is, I think it's run its course. Do something new with them. If they do that, I think that's dead in the water, and that's like within a week of Cena heel turn and then Jack Perry coming back, that's not what you want to do. You know what you just do? You just have Moxley fucking beat him. You have Moxley beat, because the whole thing started of Moxley's a bad motherfucker. Don't fuck with him. He's going to mess you up. And now he's running around like a coward. And it's just like, what are we doing? And that to me is what they do. You have this whole storyline where Edge is getting more powerful, and Moxley beats him and maybe like puts him on the shelf for a month. Like he makes an example out of Edge. Like I'm not saying squash him. Like don't have them pay-per-view be that, but like it's competitive. And then the last act, like Moxley hits him with what the fuck does he call his
Death
finisher?
Rider.
The fucking Death Rider, of course. He hits him with one and he could pin him and he hits him again. Do a ref stoppage, do something, like have him kill Copeland and be like, man, yeah, Moxley is that fucking guy. Even without the Death Riders, he's still dangerous. Don't have him cheat.
Or you have him take 2 Death Riders, pin, kick out at 1, spear from Edge, and the champion.
No, don't do the Kenny Omega fire up. Don't leave that for Kenny. Like that. Like just that's what I'd say. Is they started with Moxley being a bad ass heel. Go back to that. That's the easy way. Don't have Jack Perry cheat. Don't have a double super kick from the Young Bucks for some reason. Like don't do Christian. Don't do any of that. Just have that happen. And who knows? We'll see. And then you can have Swerve stay around to the end. Like keep it simple, stupid. But we'll see. All in Game says I want my girls Willow and Stat to go to WWE. I'm iffy on that. I want Hater to go. That's where I go. But I feel like Willow and Stat have still been booked pretty well. Stat and the whole face heel thing, that was a botch, but like Tony still uses her a lot. Like I think with Jamie, it's a different situation where Jamie's there for a bit, gone. Like I want Jamie to go.
Jamie hasn't been on TV in I think 6 weeks or something like that.
That's who I want to go to the Fed there. But so I'll say my official prediction: Moxley wins, Swerve wins. That's a dynasty. What's your official prediction on these?
I'm going with Ricochet and Cope.
Imagine if it's Ricochet and Christian, the most random heel versus heel, whatever. Okay, and do you think Ricochet and Cope is a dynasty or a dynamite match?
I feel like
It's only
I
a
don't
month away,
know.
right? So
Yeah, I don't know. I'll go Dynamite. They do big matches on Dynamite
yeah.
all the time.
So then, if in your prediction, because I'm saying it's Swerve and Cope at Dynasty, what would be the Dynasty match then? If he just beats Ricochet at Dynamite, who's Cope defending against?
I
Osprey,
think.
MJF.
um, who is in? I don't know. I don't know. They'll
I would,
figure something out.
I wouldn't
Who's an
mind it.
ex WWE? Who can the Jericho? That's what they do. They do
Don't even.
Jericho and Christian nostalgia
Yeah,
match.
triple threat. Yeah, I wouldn't mind MJF. I do worry MJF would. I would love for Edge to become like shit heel, like the way we talk about with the Ricky thing and MJF there, because MJF can go, but then I think it would also just devolve into possibly just like what Jared and MJF got into. Like I think Edge and him have the potential to have some of the best promos or some of the like dick measuring like this isn't helping anybody type of promo. Who knows? We'll see. Finally, yeah, our last two is Espo's favorite, Tony Storm, Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah May in a Hollywood End match. They announced last night this is no holds barred, no DQ, all that stuff, right? So I think
You
it's
see, it's
finally
falls count anywhere too.
yeah, Falls Count Anywhere finally coming to an end. I know there's like a big campaign to make this the main event, but they've already announced that I think Cope and Mox is the main event, and I'm fine either way. I'd probably take Ryan Tony. I'm somebody that's liked the whole story more overall. S Bubs and other people are completely right that it's just like been in like a funk because they just kind of like we're waiting for Mariah to turn, then we turn, we get the match. Then we're waiting for Tony to come back and get that. But I loved all the Tony stuff. I loved the reveal. I thought it was a little soon, but I think Tony gets the win here. And then I really want them to do a Mariah May, Mercedes Moné program. I think those two characters together, I don't know. It's tough because they're both kind of heely. Oh, I forgot to mention Mercedes versus Momo Watanabe. I think just Monet wins. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to play up Watanabe as like this big contender. Sure, the match will be good. I think Monet's been on a fucking tear since the Britt Baker match. She's become super Monet, but I think just Monet wins. But I want Monet and Mariah to, especially because Mariah's been like, I think on purpose taking shots at her in interviews, which has been fun. So, but I think Tony and her will be good. I think it's a good idea to do a gimmick match here. They haven't really, yeah, the Grand Slam wasn't a weapons match either. So, and I had literally no problems with the finish. The whole fucking like roll up gate. I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, well, she took 3 power drives. How could she? That's the point of the roll up. She couldn't do anything else. So she like won by fluke. Like it's like wrestling 101 to me of like, that's how it's like Rey Mysterio would beat like Big Show with a roll up or a schoolboy. Like that's what you do is the weaker or hurt opponent steals a win. Like I did not understand why people had such an issue with it, but I think this should be the end. It's like Finn and Damien. Now they should not interact for a long time until they like become a tag team again or something, right? But I think Tony wins, and I think this will be a really fun match. You're gonna get shoes. Luther's gonna be bumping. Mariah's gonna have some. You're gonna have like a wine bottle, probably. I think you're gonna have like, it's gonna have some tax or something. I don't know. I think they're gonna go all out in this one. I think it's gonna be a good ending. So
Yeah, I agree.
and you think, yeah, Tony's gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, not the main event, but the match I'm most looking forward to. Oh, Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. My goodness. Last time they had a match, very good. Everyone knows this. I'm a big Takeshita mark. I feel like another bi-weekly episode we should do at some point is we should all list our current top 10s, not like overall all time, but like our current, because I have not done that. I'm like, where does that rank? But I know Takeshita's in there. Omega's like, that's a no dots. Him and Cody and Punk, there's like a 3-way tie. But Takeshita, love his work rate, love everything that's been going on here. I think him and Kenny are going to have another great match. I'm very excited for to see. I think this is I don't think it's gonna be like the game match. I think it's gonna be Kenny being like the best bout wrestling machine type, and I'm very excited for. I think they're listening, and I think Kenny's gonna win this, and I think they are gonna merge him and Okada's title all in. I think
so.
I think you have to, and I think that's good. That's good criticism. That what? Yeah, we do have too much titles. We're losing
AEW Intercontinental title.
Yes, and then maybe change up the Continental Classic like rules. Just copy
make
New
it for
Japan.
a trophy.
Yeah, just copy New Japan, make it for a trophy, and you get a shot at the world title. Great. Like I know it's literally King of the Ring. It's literally the G1. Who cares? It's wrestling. Like people will like the Continental Classic still. Like there's not a North American round robin tournament, right? Like King of the Ring's not that, so that's where it's a little bit different. But I think this again, a lot of matches could be match of the show, but I'm very excited for this one. I think they're going to tear the house down. I think Kenny wins here. I don't think we're getting the Kenny world title run that everyone won after the Gabe match. I think they're sticking true here, but maybe that'll come. I don't know. But yeah, your thoughts on this one?
No, yeah, it's gonna be really good, obviously. Just, yeah, two of the best in the world there. And yeah, I do think Kenny's gonna win. And like you said, yeah, the Okada match, they were teasing it
Yeah.
before, but yeah, I think he wins the international title here, yeah. And then they do the unification match there.
Yeah, which that to me, I get why they're doing it. I always said that's going to be super risky to do. I think you have these guys that have had like in this era, people say it's greatest wrestling match all time. They're tied. You could have left it, but Tony's not. Tony wants to do it again, and it's going to be interesting. And yeah, Okada, like I know he's versing, I think Brody King soon. I'm very curious what they do with Okada after he loses. I would very much like them to put him in the actual like main title picture, like do something there or get him with like, I don't know about Moxley, but get him with Hangman, get him with Moxley, get him with Edge. Like he should go like have Kenny be like the top B tier champion and make Okada like win a gauntlet or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
once he has the combined title, you could just make that the B
yes,
title, like the
absolutely.
B world title, pretty much.
Because that's
So
but
you could
it
have
was
like
for
you
the
can have like,
TNT.
but the TNT. But what I mean is like you can have like main eventers fight for the world or like the
Yes.
Intercontinental, and then the TNT is like the mid card
Yes,
championship.
guys, it's very much the mid card now. We talk about this Discord
But I
where,
think, yeah, with Kenny
yeah,
as the champion, you can have any main eventer fight for the
absolutely.
international, like the new title.
And what I would say too is because we talked about this because you picked Hangman, so one thing you could be right. I was saying this Discord. I would like them to some point circle back to the Garcia MGF feud because Garcia still doesn't beat him, and they've just been pile driving each other. So I think that's like a good natural feud for MGF to maybe go. I've not seen Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. I hope it was good.
I didn't see any footage of it.
Yeah, my timeline was just filled with Cena stuff, so I'm gonna watch at some point. But
The
Garcia
only
should
thing I
be
saw is like I
defending
think
more.
the FTR versus it was Roderick and
Yes.
O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I think it had like O'Reilly had like his foot on the ropes and they like actually counted three and then they like restarted the match in the commercial break and like
Oh,
kept going.
like was
Like
that
it was
like
like
kayfabe or
I'm not
accidental?
sure because I think maybe kayfabe because the camera
Okay,
was very much like you would
position
I
that
think
way.
I think it was like Dax pinning and like you had the ref like counting three and then when Dax got up to like celebrate like you saw his foot was like on the rope
Okay,
like once he
yeah,
counted three and
yeah,
then yeah they kept going with the match so I don't know I guess that's a feud or a story there or maybe not if they restarted the match because they're nice guys maybe that's not a
yeah.
feud they probably hugged by the end of it I don't know I didn't watch but I saw that clip
They
of the
probably
foot on the
hugged.
rope.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll check it out at some point here.
I
So
heard it
yeah,
was a good match though. Like
yeah.
outside
They had another match. I think at like an ROH or something like some smaller event while they were
that.
both independent people or all
I
four
think
of
I
them.
saw apparently it was one of the FTR guys that like they only had a match at like it was like an NXT house show or
Was
something
that
like
okay? Yeah,
that.
that's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it was some smaller show that's like they have footage of it, but it's not completely televised. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's even the trios. Like they got a lot of good trios going on right now. I will say also I am really liking like I don't want to be a main eventer, but I'm loving the Max Caster Open Challenge where he's just fucking losing every week. Like that's a good thing. Where it's okay, this town's not gonna do much. I don't know where the fuck Anthony Bowens is. Maybe he's hurt. It's like you broke them up and it feels like you're doing nothing, and people seem to like Bowens. He can go. So again, not perfect. There's some stuff, but yeah, we'll talk about the results of that next time. Like I said, the next episode should be beginning of April unless something massive happens. Could always happen. So if there's like an emergency episode, we'll let you know. But the next time will be March 16th. So again, you can tune in to watch some GM mode. And like I said, even if you don't love GM mode or anything like that, tune in because we'll be talking wrestling. We'll probably do some updates, up with some other stuff. Because yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm completely stealing the up, up, down, down. Where what we're gonna do is when we book our rosters, I'm gonna let everybody for the first show have their free range of time so they can see your superstars, everything. But then after that, we're gonna
I
go
do
into
wonder if in
5 minute.
online it's gonna be like everyone just books at the same time.
Oh yeah, I wonder what it's gonna be like.
In that case
Yeah.
we could still do like well we all have 5 minutes to
Yeah,
get or
definitely
10.
should keep it
Yeah.
to 5 minutes because like I think that's a good way. So we're
But
not
I feel like
going.
with the online, it might just be like, yeah, like everyone does it at the same time, and then
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't
I
even
don't know,
think about
maybe
that.
like that could be something.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because I know like on the person you do that, and then even I'm trying to think about like, do I guess it would just be like if I'm hosting the stream, they just see me book my show, but your guys' show is always going to be a surprise. So, and if that's the case, if they don't get to see your guys' show, what we'll do is we'll book the show, and then we can have when the card pops up, talk about what we were all
Yeah.
thinking when we booked and everything like that. But yeah, after the first show, we'll do 5 minute intervals, so we're not taking too long. Plus, there's some pressure on. Okay, we got to. I was already doing that. So I'm not sure if you want to copy too. I was doing that where I set a timer on my phone. I started booking 5 minutes because I saw up, down, down. Like, oh, it must be hard. But once you like get in the swing of it, you got a good pace
I
and
feel I
stuff like that.
usually
So
book pretty fast. Well, I'll do it with the timer just to see. But I feel like I
mhm.
usually, and sometimes I feel like I do it too quickly where I forget stuff. But
Absolutely, especially with the superstar promises. You're like, oh fuck, I was supposed to expect.
yeah.
The ones that always ding me is someone's like, let's say it's like Gunther versus Cody, right? And let's say Cody beats him for the world title, but Gunther was champion, and the feud's over, and Gunther's like,
I want
no one,
another match.
yeah, I want
Yeah.
another match. No one better get another shot. And I always will be like, because I always try and keep my superstars morale high because I don't want to pay them 100K. I'll be like, sure. And usually what I do is like put a triple threat, right, with a new feud. But then when
Yeah.
it's like 3 weeks later and I forget, or if I log off and come back, I always forget. And then I get that email, you said no one else would get a shot before me. And I'm like, oh, damn it. And then it's just a downtrend. So yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait to see. So yeah, that'll be March 16th. So, and the good thing is, I think, are you getting it early, the deluxe one? Or,
I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I mean, I'm
yeah.
gonna get it. I just don't know why I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I am
Yeah, me
getting
too.
the one early. I think
Yeah.
that's you get it like on Thursday or Friday
Yeah,
or something
Thursday,
like that. You can
Friday.
start
So,
playing. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll have a little time. Not sure about David. So David hasn't played GM and Owen in a while, so he's gonna be a little bit of a rookie. But who knows? I'm going hard. I play against computers for years now. I'm ready to go down and just start beating people. So yeah, check out March 16th. When we get closer, get a time. But I think we'll probably have a similar start time to this, like a 10:11 a.m. PST, and then like I said, go for till people can't, or we finish the season, and then yeah, that'll be fun. So we'll be back for that. Stay tuned to the feeds. When we get the Soul feed, I'll put that all out there. Thank you everyone that tuned in this. Thank you everyone that's in the live chat. Yeah, WrestleMania Cena, I guess, is upon
I
us.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's a heel now. Gonna be a fun way to WrestleMania, and it won't be boring